Yeah.
Okay, we're doing this in reverse order. We're doing part two and three first
Okay.
because of so many technical difficulties.
Yeah.
And I guess we're going to start with Charlie Kaufman, strangely, on our director's tier list. We already reviewed a bunch. We'll probably
Yeah.
go back and have to redo the audio because the audio failed again, technical difficulties. What do you
Yeah.
think of Charlie Kaufman, Will?
I think he's one of those guys where like there's no. It doesn't seem like what he does should work, but I think it does work. I do like his
What
movies.
is he known for then?
Let me see. I think he did Synecdoche, New York, which I actually really like. He did Adaptation, Being John Malkovich, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Um,
Yeah, those are all pretty good. I like the only one I don't know too well is
Anomalisa.
adaptation. What was that
Yeah.
about again?
Adaptation is. I didn't like Adaptation. It's a bit cloyingly meta. It's Nicolas Cage in a movie where he has a brother who he plays himself and his twin brother. And one of them's pretentious and the other one's kind of dumb. And they're both like artist writer types. And then it becomes this weird meta thriller. Uh, it's just a bit. It was a bit too meta without enough like humor and soul. Um, I've never seen Eternal Sunshine all the way through. Weirdly enough, it's like which kind of fits the movie's like fragmentary nature, kind of. Um, Being John Malkovich like should be annoying, but for some reason it's just not annoying. Synecdoche, New York is beautiful. Anomalisa, I've never even
Yeah,
I
his
haven't watched
no, I
that.
mean Charlie Kaufman is pretty good. I don't. He's a little bit like a Noah Baumbach or whatever. I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah, he is.
some would say Spike Jones. I don't really consider this as him. I don't consider Spike Jones as effective or consistent. Charlie Kaufman, yeah. I mean, I don't really like every movie. Like I think Being John Malkovich, Eternal Sunshine for the Spotless Mind are his best ones. Synecdoche, New York was I felt like it's like harrowing. It was so like intense and like
Yeah,
cringy.
it
Um,
was. It was painful.
I couldn't finish it. I couldn't finish it. So
Wow, that's
should I?
impressive though.
Is it worth finishing?
Yeah, it is. It's. I mean, it's not a happy ending, but it's a resolution
Okay.
of
Right.
sorts.
All right. I'll look into it. It's too much. I would say he's like a C or a B.
Okay, I don't know. I give him a
That's
B.
a B.
I mean, if a movie's that good, I mean, what do you mean you couldn't finish it? It was too boring or too intense?
It was both.
Okay, I give him a B. I actually really like him, um,
Okay.
but
Well,
I'm not gonna buffalo you.
he's not a he's not like I mean his style is really coherent. I mean and he speaks to a certain like sensibility that most directors never get the chance to. So yeah, I mean I can see his merit. I just don't find really like myself going towards it a lot. But yeah, B is okay. I don't know. I would say C plus.
All right,
I'm gonna do C plus.
sure. Okay,
Okay, up next, Chris Sanders.
Chris Sanders. He. What's left to say about? I don't know who this guy is. Chris Sanders. Chrissy Chris Sanders.
What has he done? Let's look it up.
I'm looking him up. I think he did. Oh, Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Your Dragon.
Okay,
The
this
Cruise.
guy is this guy's worse than Zack Snyder. He's an E.
All right.
How to Train Your Dragon. Yeah,
I don't know why it's on this list.
it's like it's,
Christopher Nolan.
okay. This one's a little more interesting. Yeah, Christopher Nolan.
I think like Christopher Nolan's like always on the edge of being middlebrow, or he like is firmly middlebrow. But I do think Batman was actually kind of cool. Like
Well, he's
that.
trying to be like Ridley Scott. Like he's very like
I
British,
know.
and he's trying to have this like grand, all-encompassing perspective on everything.
Yeah.
And you'll notice if you see this 1989 Black Rain by Ridley Scott, which is like two New York cops going to Tokyo to solve a lingering case
Yeah.
or a case that spilled over
Yeah.
with the and they deal with the yakuza and all this. That movie is kind of not really the best movie ever, but it does have the same tone as like The Dark Knight, let's say, or
Hmm.
Inception, and you can really see that like in '89, this was before Thelma and Louise, so he didn't only made like 5 movies,
Yeah.
and his tone it was after Blade Runner, so his tone was really kind of different than you would think of Ridley Scott now. And yet, this movie, Black Rain, is also now a super popular film. I think Christopher Nolan was kind of riffing off of that,
Yeah.
that atmosphere.
So he's kind of
Um,
derivative.
but you would have to know where to look. Christopher Nolan has said that he's a big fan of Blade Runner. He's seen it like 100 times or
Wow.
maybe more than that,
Yeah.
and that shows for sure. I think the way he puts it together a film is amazing. I think the
Yeah.
craft is really cool. I think he's
Yeah.
probably almost given Ridley Scott a run for his money sometimes.
Hmm.
However, I don't think the stories are always sensible. I think the stories are sometimes a little pseudo profound and
Yeah.
and sort of far reaching, but like kind of overblown.
Yeah.
Um, some people, I think some of these movies have aged better than others, like Inception
Yeah.
has aged. Some people don't like it, or
Nah, I
in
would
the
say that's the thing. I was going to
younger
object.
generation.
I was going to object to Inception because I feel like the only
Memento is still good, I think.
the takeaway I got from Inception was it was this very very heady, intellectually complex plot. Um, but because it was so intellectually overcomplicated, it wasn't that moving, sort of, because you were sort of struggling to juggle what was even happening. That was my impression of it. Are you there?
Yeah, yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
And the other thing is, uh, there's he hasn't done like a ton of movies, and one of the and some of the movies that don't work, it kind of fucks up his overall record because he has so many that it's only so many that do work. Like Tenet, I didn't think was amazing. Dark Knight Rises, I didn't think was amazing.
yeah.
Um, like you said, Inception has it gets kind of ages kind of funny. Um, Memento is really good. What did he do in between Memento and Inception? I can't even remember.
Let me see.
Dunkirk is another one. It wasn't my favorite war movie either. Um,
Oh,
Dunkirk might age better though.
he's made 11 movies. Okay.
Hasn't made that many movies.
Following Memento, Insomnia, Batman, The Prestige, The Dark Knight,
Oh, The Prestige, right? Did
Man
he
of
do The Machinist?
Steel.
Oh,
Surprisingly, I don't see that on here.
but he did the
Interstellar,
Prestige.
Dunkirk, Tenet, and the forthcoming Oppenheimer.
Oh, Oppenheimer. Yeah, that's right. That one
Yeah,
looks kind of good. Interstellar, I liked. It's a little. It's. I don't. I think his movies have a problem where they don't age that well. And
yeah,
well, I like Interstellar when I saw it, but it's not extremely rewatchable. It really drags on.
yeah.
It's not always the most complicated plot,
Excuse
so
me.
it's hard to rewatch for that reason.
Yeah,
Even though the physics ostensibly is, and then it's complicated, and then Prestige I liked when I was a kid. I saw it when I was maybe like a tween. I
yeah,
thought it was very good. Um, I would say for him. He's no worse than Wes Anderson, right? So I think he has to be A. But for S, I don't know. Maybe he still has more to prove. I
yeah,
want him. I don't know what his great movie is yet. Maybe he'll come up with something that's going to be his best movie ever. We
yeah.
just haven't seen it. I think a lot of his movies they fall into a sort of hype and hysteria that has to do with the cinematography and the sound design and
Yeah,
just the
yeah.
larger than life
I know what you mean.
sensationalism.
Yeah,
It's a spectacle.
that's a great
Yeah.
description of it. And there's less substance.
It's a sophisticated spectacle, which makes it even more dangerous.
Yeah, the danger is greater than in the case of like Michael Bay or something. Yeah, I agree. I agree completely.
Definitely watchable films almost always. I'll give him an A. Yeah, he's consistently
Yeah,
high quality, but it's just not the movies aren't that personal, and they're not really the stuff you go back to a whole lot unless you're really into that style, I guess.
yeah, I agree. It's pretty good.
Okay. All right. Who's next? We have Clint East. Oh, Claire Denis. Who's that? Claire Denis.
Claire Denis. Claire Denis. She has done Trouble Every Day, 35 Shots of Rum, White Material. Oh, Beau Travail, High Life, and Both Sides of the Blade. Stars at Noon. Excuse me. So a lot of movies about West Africa, but
Okay, say, dude, do you recognize any of these?
no, I don't.
Okay, so I don't. Say 'em again.
Okay, Beau Travail, Trouble Every Day, 35 Shots of Rum, White Material, High Life, Both Sides of the Blade, Stars at Noon.
Sounds
Uh,
kind of interesting. Yeah,
yeah,
I,
they
I've
they
I haven't
do,
heard of
they
them.
do. So it's one of these
I'll
like kind
say
of
I don't know her.
obscure European.
I won't even say don't know her because the name is sort of familiar. But I'll just say I haven't seen it. I don't know
Yeah.
that I've seen it. Up next, Clint Eastwood. We were
Well,
supposed to do a podcast where we talked about like three or four of his movies. We can still do
yeah.
that.
Um,
Um,
let's
but
see.
we so far we've as a Cinephiles podcast team, we've only seen one of his films, which is Unforgiven.
Yeah.
How many films have you seen that were directed by Clint Eastwood, not acted in,
Let me
but
see.
directed?
I see Gran Torino. I haven't seen Gran Torino. I think it's only. I think I've. Oh, I saw Bridges of Madison County for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know if
Oh
I've
shoot.
watched that
Sorry.
in one sitting, or I can't remember it.
Yeah.
Um, I have seen a number of his movies, but I'll say it right now, I think he's a far better actor than director. His directorial work can be quite good, but I don't assume it. And I think a lot of his films they take really interesting topics and they sort of bloat them into something kind of you know uh, watered down. And
Mm,
like he does the Flags of Our Fathers and Letters from Iwo Jima, right? Two very compelling
yeah.
American stories or subject matter,
Yeah.
Pacific War, right? And
Yeah.
yet those movies I found to be exceptionally tedious,
Mm.
um, and sort of maybe deliberately so.
Dang.
I think as a director, he's sort of
Damn.
he's a little too famous to be the best director because he's already such an iconic actor. And I love his Western portrayals, and I love his Dirty Harry, and even his direct when he's a director who directs westerns. I think he's a little better than when he does Million Dollar Baby or Gran Torino or Cry Macho or whatever. I mean, so like he as a fellow San Franciscan, I love the guy, but I
Yeah.
just think he's not not really this perfect director that he sort of set himself up to be. I would
Hmm.
say a B. I give him a B.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't
He's made a
even.
lot of movies, so I do it reluctantly, but I think a B.
All right. Yeah. I mean, it's enough to say that I just haven't really liked any of the things I've seen from him.
Okay,
Um.
next one up
Yeah.
is gonna be kind of like the inverse or the Inside Out.
Yeah.
Ethan and Joel Cohen,
All right. Cohen Brothers.
brothers
Cohen
Cohen.
Bros. Movies. Ballad of Buster Scruggs was terrible. No Country for Old
That
Men.
was an awkward, yeah, grandstanding sort of
It's just
blubberfest. I don't know what it
yeah.
was. It was a lot of showboating about their chops filming this western, and
Yeah.
then it just kind of came to nil.
But No
It
Country
had
for
no real
Old Men.
sensitivity.
No Country for Old Men.
But that one's their best movie,
That's
best
amazing.
drama. That's their best
Uh,
drama. I mean, to be fair, they can do comedies and drama with like equal
yeah.
measure, equal
That's
expertise.
pretty rare. The new True
It's
Grit.
kind of exceptional.
I don't. I
There's
was yeah.
True Grit's a western. I don't think they do proper westerns very well. True Grit kind of flopped for me. Like
Yeah.
we talked about this in the previous podcast, True Grit has some really weird cinematography. The story isn't really my favorite anyway.
Yeah.
Um, I the characters are acted pretty good, but the casting was a little weird.
Yeah.
Um, and of course, I just think they didn't focus enough on the Western setting. I think in Buster Scruggs they focused on that, but it was the pendulum swinging the other way. It was a little too focused on the ambience, and then the
Yeah, and
characters were like
the
cartoon
Western
portrayals.
tropes, and the story
The
wasn't that
Western
good.
it became sort of a joke in Buster
Yeah.
Scruggs' case, and then became a little too self-serious, or was a
Dang.
little too self-serious in True Grit. Oh, brother, where art thou? was a watchable, rewatchable film. It's a kind of a classic based on the Odyssey.
I didn't really.
Pretty good.
I like the idea of it, but I didn't really like the movie itself.
It has some good scenes. I don't think all like you know in one sitting it's superb, but
Yeah.
it has some pretty good scenes. Miller's Crossing is good from what I hear. I was just gonna watch it soon. Barton Fink. Big Lebowski is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I have to put them in S. I just think that
Damn.
despite having a lot of flaws, they made a lot of movies that are really good.
Yeah.
And it may be an A because they seem to crash and burn on certain things, but
Yeah.
you're forgetting all the movies that that I think are like really solid, like Fargo and Burn After Reading and A Silent Man, I think it's called. And there's
Yeah.
also that one called Hail Caesar, which isn't a sterling film, but it was kind of fun. So they just have a really good style,
Hmm.
and it's very authentic-y. And also, Arizona, Raising Arizona was kind of a fun film for the late '80s.
Yeah.
A lot of they made their first film in the early '80s. It was really stylized,
Yeah.
dark cinematography, kind of like Blade Runner, very like early '80s punk themed, a crime film, kind of driven, hard boiled. I think they have a lot of range, and recently they sort of separated and done their own projects. But I think that these guys have always been like some of the best that we have as writers and directors as a
Wow.
combination.
High
Yeah,
praise.
I mean they're kind of like the South Park, Trey Parker and Matt Stone of
Yeah,
filmmaking.
because they're just so iconic and they generate so much good stuff. I don't. I wouldn't. I don't know. I'm a little more cool on them because I only really like one of their movies. But I could keep trying.
What's the one movie you like?
No Country for Old Men.
That one is really good. So
Yeah, I mean, but that you're right. That enough is like, um, and I haven't seen The Big Lebowski in years, but I just I'm sure it's great. And I didn't
it's
really even like
yeah.
I didn't like Fargo that much. I know it's iconic, but I just
Yeah, I
I
had to rewatch it to appreciate it more.
yeah,
So for me, it's been a slow burn with the Coen brothers, but it's been a rewarding one.
yeah.
Okay, let's go down to the next one, Damien Chazelle. I feel like this is a newcomer. What's he
Damien
done?
Chazelle. Yes. Let's see. Chazelle. Yeah, another French, pretentious French. Oh wait, he did La La Land. All right.
Okay, I didn't ever bother to watch that because I don't like musicals
I
typically.
liked it. It was really I really liked it. It was sad, but that's why it's so good. Whiplash about some guy about J. Jonah Jameson yelling at a drummer boy. It's kind of interesting.
Whiplash I
I
enjoyed.
I never saw
It was
Whiplash, but it just seems
Whip,
intriguing. And Babylon, which
Whiplash
I
was
think, yeah,
Whiplash was really uh, strong. I would say for like a young director to make, it was a pretty strong movie. It
yeah,
wasn't like the best story in the world. It was kind of unrealistic about the whole pedagogy of being a music, band leader or whatever it was.
yeah,
The whole the interaction between the characters is a little kind of stiff and hard to swallow. And I felt like
yeah.
the whole thing was kind of I got kind of got drowned out by it by the bombacity,
Hmm.
but the realism suffers somewhat in that movie,
Yeah,
and it does it in a blatant way. I think for him, he's probably a C just because he's unproven. He's only made a couple movies, and
sure.
while La La Land is apparently a splendiferous, you know, marvelous showcase, I don't care. Like it just hits all the
It's a
wrong
garden of
notes.
earthly delights, I assure you.
Yeah, it seems sort of like the Garden of just the Themony or whatever, just Themony.
Oh well,
You
no,
know,
that's quite the
It's-
opposite.
well, that's how it feels to me.
Oh,
So
that's great.
it's just Themony. So I'm
The
or
wine
whatever
press.
it is. What's that hill? The
Cavalry, but no, the Garden of Gethsemane. Yeah,
Gargotha or whatever.
Golgotha.
Golgotha.
I think
Golgotha.
Gethsemane means the olive press or something.
That's probably right. Anyway, I give him a C because he's unproven and
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
he sort of seems to have these sort of dainty music, musical theater attitude approach.
Hmm.
I just it's not really my cup of
You're
tea.
right. You're right. There is a kind of I really like his movies, but there's there's something weird there.
Okay, up next, this one I don't recognize the films he's made, but I recognize the name. Danny Boyle.
Ah, Danny Boyle.
Sounds like Danny Boy, the song.
Yeah.
Danny Boy, or whatever. Okay, go on. Yeah,
Danny
Danny Boyle.
Boyle has made Trainspotting, Slumdog Millionaire, 28 Days Later, 127 Hours, Steve Jobs, Yesterday, Shallow Grave, T2 Trainspotting, I guess a sequel to Trainspotting, The Beach,
Okay, so Train Spotting and then
Sunshine.
Slumdog Millionaire.
Yep.
So he's kind of doing the same thing that Damien Chazelle is doing, where he's got a one sort of story that's kind of gritty and cool,
Well, I don't know.
and then he's got another story that's sort of like over the top and melodramatic and sort of, you know, it takes you
Yeah.
everywhere, and it's stargazing, I don't know, it's like a slice of life, but like souped up.
Yeah.
So Ang Lee kind of did the same thing because he did Life of Pi and then Brokeback Mountain. So
I know.
I think he's a C. I just don't think he's like a serious director. I think he's more of like a Hollywood kind of guy that they just find to make certain movies.
Yeah. There is like a kind of hard to find a through line to all these, you know?
Yeah, yeah. He doesn't sound like an auteur. You know what I mean? He seems like
Yeah.
he can do kind of a little bit of anything. He's a factotum.
Yeah. Ironically.
Ironically, yeah. We'll
We
watch Factotum, and maybe we won't use that word so much. But anyway, up next is Agnes Varda.
Agnes Varda. Do do do. She did. Oh, another European that no one's ever heard of. Actually, I think I have heard of this woman, but I've never seen any of her movies. Martin Scorsese called her one of the gods of cinema. Okay. Le Pointe Cote, Cleo from 5 to 7. Vagabond, Kung Fu Master. Documentary works called Black Panthers, The Gleaners and I, The Beaches of Agnes,
Okay, I
Faces,
straight out
Places.
I have not heard of her. I think I've heard the name. But I've never
I've
seen
kind of
anything
heard
she's
of her
done.
too. I got this sense that she was like a film student's kind of
Wet Dream.
director.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know
probably right.
that's pretty dismissive, but like it's not. I
That's
don't
every
mean.
that's every that's every European director, and
Yeah, I know, but I don't even mean that as a bad thing. It's just.
especially every French director. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I think
yeah,
she's good,
yeah.
but we just got to
Got,
admit that we don't know her. We
yeah,
don't know her work.
exactly.
We just don't know it. Okay, up
Okay,
next.
Dario Argento, horror guy, The Bird with the
Look at
Crystal
his face.
Plumage.
He's so grim, dude.
Yeah, he's
Jeez.
horrific. Cat o' Nine Tails,
He looks like a horror actor. He
four
looks like a
four flies on
Bela
Grey
Lugosi
Velvet.
meets Boris Karloff.
Nice.
Um,
Suspiria, Inferno, Mother of Tears, Deep Red, Tenebrae,
these are all
Phenomena.
old movies. This guy died like not that long ago, but these are
Yeah,
all really old movies. This is the thing about Dario Argento and the other guys like Mario Bava or whatever. Like,
yeah.
the Giallo Italian directors.
Hmm.
I don't understand. I don't get Giallo. Like, have people doing really quaint things, very cutesy and quaint, and
Yeah.
then they get murdered for seemingly no reason. I understand that that's like sort of what happens in Scream, but to my mind, Scream is about like kind of like fast and loose, degenerate, debaucherous
Yeah.
teenagers getting
Yeah.
killed.
I
Whereas
think.
this is about, whereas this is about like normal people who are totally innocent, same getting
Yeah.
killed.
No,
So
that's a
I
great.
don't
That's
understand
a great point. I think in American horror, there is that trope of like teens getting up to no good, and it's almost like moralistic. Like, and so they are killed by the monster because they had sex or
That's a
whatever.
good point. Yeah, yeah. This is not
But I've
moralistic.
never
Is
seen
my
giallo films, but
To be
yeah,
fair, I don't know the Italian, so if I'm watching it in
yeah,
Italian, which I will do sometimes,
yeah,
I might be missing some of the criticisms that the people make against each other and
yeah.
the accusations and stuff. But as far as I can tell, the people seem kind of wholesome, and then they get murdered anyway. It just seems sort of demented and sadistic.
Well,
But
that's a danger. That's always a danger with European movies. There's like this. I do think there's this like kind of degeneracy that I really don't like. I know it's kind of a dog whistle term, but I literally
I'll give
mean
him.
like yeah.
What
I have no
I
idea.
mean,
I've never seen any of his movies.
it's depraved. It's sort of depraved. What do you want, a D or a C?
I've never seen
I
his
don't.
movies. It could be, but if he does have this bleak universe where people are
They're like
punished
they're
and
like
suffer for no reason.
exploitation. They're like exploitation tier horror films. They're
Yeah, but
not.
if there's not even the fig leaf of divine retribution, that's pretty grubby. Like that, I hate movies like that.
That's what I'm saying. Is he C or D? I'm not.
Yeah, let's do D, I
Won't even.
guess.
I'll do D because I don't think he's as bad as like the fucking jackpot, Hollywood stuff. Like
Yeah, Hollywood hack.
brown nosers like Chris Sanders or Zack Snyder, where it's just like all about the cheddar. But this guy definitely had like a weird attitude about what he
Yeah,
need
just
what
look
he
at him.
about his.
Yeah.
He creeps me out, man. I mean, this guy is not the whole Anthony Bourdain thing where he was dating his daughter and then she seemed weird and like not just weird, like really weird. And Anthony Bourdain like died and like, killed in a strange way, and the whole thing is scary. So
Jeez.
yeah, I give him D. I don't. I'll give him a C because I'm sure there's gonna be eventually watch a movie and I'll be like, oh, it's pretty good. So but I don't think he's gonna be like like he's gonna be like amazing. You know what I mean. Like I don't suspect that every film he's done is like really cool.
Yeah,
It's just that some of his movies are good, but because it's grubby, I can't countenance really raising it higher, like to
that's fine.
Ozu or Tarkovsky's level.
Yeah, I know. Class counts for a lot. You know,
It
really does.
does, yeah. And his name
Uh,
is funny. His name is Silver, not Gold. You'll notice Argento.
oh yeah, that's funny.
Okay,
That says it
anyway,
all.
up next,
Oh, Darren
Darren.
Aronofsky. Uh,
He's a Brooklynite, or I believe.
Darren
He did
Aronofsky did The
Pie.
Whale,
He did
Black
The
Swan,
Whale.
Mother! Exclamation mark, Requiem for a Dream, Pi, not to be confused with Life of Pi, Noah. It's crazy. I feel like Noah was a very middle American like.
Is it about Noah?
Yeah, it was about Noah's Ark. That's like a very like
Okay.
God's Not Dead, like kind of dumb evangelical Protestant kind of movie. I wouldn't expect
Yeah, so
this.
his movies are kind of like
Expect this guy to do that.
they're like comfortable and but like uncomfortable at the same time.
Hmm.
Um, they're kind of insouciant. I don't think he's the best director, but I did like The Whale. I've liked everything I've been forced to watch. The Black Swan was a little too much.
Hmm.
I think he does kind of lean too much into like the LGBT sort of like
Well, just
fishing.
the macabre, maybe.
Well, he tries to make like the girl in the Black Swan, this like rampant lesbian who's like sort of carnivorously having sex all the time, and then
Yeah.
he makes the whale like this sort of gay dude that masturbates to like gay porn all the time, and
Hmm.
I just think he trades up like makes the characters seem like high and mighty, and then he just sort of debases them really quickly. Now maybe that's smart. I don't know. Maybe we should see more of that. But to me, it's a little like gimmicky. So I can't countenance putting him in A,
Yeah.
but I will put him in B maybe because I think he's a veritable auteur. He has a lot of sort of identifiable style. He's probably a little underrated sometimes.
Hmm.
And he's a well-known established director he was considered to be somewhat uncompromising.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah. Fair enough.
okay, up next,
Cronenberg.
someone who's a little like him in a way, but in many ways is not.
Well, talk about the
David
macabre.
Cronenberg. Yeah, let's talk about Macabre. I mean, compared to Argento, this guy is even weirder sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think Cronenberg at least has, like you said, this uplifting moral like significance in his finales. Like
Yeah, I haven't really seen that many of his movies, but there is. I hate to pigeonhole people by
I've seen a
time.
lot of his movies.
Yeah. I pigeonhole people by time sometimes, and I feel like just by virtue of being like largely an '80s guy, there's a very high standard of like of technique and like
Okay.
artisanship to his stuff,
But he's
which
good. But he's good. Like
well, that's what I'm
he's
saying.
not
Like
Dario Argento. He's better than Dario Argento in a
yeah,
way.
there's some depth to it and intrigue, but like
He's done other movies that aren't like body horror. Like he's
oh
done
okay
History of Violence. He did Crash. I don't know if he
oh
got an
interesting.
Academy Award, but he did like some like deep cut films.
I
And obviously he did The Fly and Naked Lunch and Videodrome and Dead Ringers and The Brood and Slither, the original Slither from the 70s. He's done a lot of good movies. Not
yeah
every movie is like popcorn. They're not like movies you want to eat like a meal and watch, but they're
yeah
they're, they're captivating. I would give him B. I think he's better than a lot of the people that are like heralded as great. directors who like.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like people like I was, I
I
pigeonhole him
think
as a
actually I'll put him in A. I'll be edgy because I
damn.
think he's
That's funny.
better than Tim Burton. I think Tim Burton's a little like retarded in the way that he's
Yeah.
like so macabre, but it's like phony,
It's like
visual
hot. It's like
macabre.
Hot Topic. It's very cheesy.
It's all like glitter. It's glitter goth. There's no actual
Yeah,
like
yeah.
real dark moody. I mean, Edward Scissorhands is about as dark as it gets.
Hmm.
For him, and then David Cronenberg is everything he does is darker than that.
Yeah.
At least I don't know. David Edward Scissorhands kind of like a Cronenberg film in a way,
Hmm.
but I don't. I think Cronenberg has more emotional pull, whereas Tim Burton is a lot. It's a lot of like kind of sappy, sing-songy, Irish shanty stories about like princesses, and it's like fairy tales, but like mocked up to be like horrendous. But really, it's not horrendous.
Yeah, it's
It's the
not
same
exactly.
bullshit from a fairy tale.
Yeah. Are we reconsidering Tim Burton? Because I would
Just making things dark visually doesn't make anything like
I I'd,
wrong.
I'd bring Tim Burton down in light of
Yeah, I don't know
everything.
why he's up there actually. Now that I think about it, I'll give him. I mean, he's better than Dario Argento, perhaps. So I'll give him B.
All right.
Okay. David Fincher. Ooh, one of my favorites.
David Fincher.
He was raised briefly in San Anselmo.
Oh wow.
Well, I
Uh
mean, he's been all over. He grew up in different places, but you'll notice there's tie-ins to like California, like College of Marin, for instance, is
wow.
sort of like
Huh.
they use the term "comm" for a college in Gone Girl.
That's cool. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
but it was a college in Missouri, but it was still like
Yeah.
calm. Funny.
Um I've only seen Zodiac, which I found kind of boring, I have to
You didn't
say.
see Gone Girl?
No. I mean, should I? I saw
Zodiac,
Fight.
okay, Zodiac is probably his least popular.
I loved Fight
Um,
Club when I was like in high school, but I don't know if I
you're
like
missing
it so
out, dude.
much
You're
now.
you're you're, you're missing
All
out
right,
because
what should I
I
see?
know for
Give
I
me
know
the
for a fact
tops.
that every movie that you haven't seen is better than the movies you have seen.
Damn. Okay.
Um,
Gone Girl next.
the Game is probably my favorite.
I just lost the game.
It's probably the best one, really.
Okay.
Gone Girl is probably the second best,
All right.
and
I'm
third
bold.
to none.
Okay.
What else did he do? He did
Panic Room, Case of Benjamin Button. I've seen the
Case
Social
of Benjamin
Network.
Button is good, and The
Uh,
Social Network was one of my favorite movies when it was released. Not anymore, but at the time I thought it was really well written. I think
yeah.
Aaron Sorkin wrote the script, so it was really
I
good.
saw Mank about the guy who wrote the
I
screenplay for
never
Citizen
saw
Kane.
that. Was that good?
The girl with I never saw it. The girl with the dragon tattoo. He weirdly did the entirety of House of Cards and
The
Mindhunter.
House of Cards I've heard was critical. I've seen snippets and it's been interesting, but I have to
It's
actually
kind
look
of
up to it.
it's weird that I often assume that it's not
He's trying
possible.
to be kind of like an Aaron Sorkin kind of dude, or like
Yeah,
who's that other
I
guy? Who's the
know.
guy who did The West Wing? Aaron
I would have
Sorkin.
sworn that Aaron Sorkin had done the Social Network. Oh, it was written by Aaron Sorkin. I get it.
Yeah, but he
Okay.
did The West Wing, and House of Cards is literally like The West Wing.
Yeah, so it's this snappy, like kind of clever. Yeah, I feel like
The
this
Room.
guy really likes clever, sardonic stuff because Fight Club was very clever and
You
snappy
have
and
to watch. No, you
sardonic.
have to stop watching.
Okay, okay, fine. I'll watch the other
Watch
ones.
The Game. Watch Gone Girl.
Great.
You watch Mank. Did you see Mank?
I don't know, a movie about a guy who, like, supposedly.
You gotta grow up a little here and watch the
Okay,
best
if
movies
it's good,
you've
I'll
never
freaking.
seen.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it.
I'm giving him S. I think he's really good.
Damn, you love this dude. All right, fair
Well,
enough.
I don't know. I just like everything he's made. What was one of the other ones
That's
you
the thing, man.
mentioned? Oh,
Um,
Benjamin Button, really good. I mean, not a little like, childish, but for a kids movie, really good. And then
yeah.
the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I thought that was a really well done adaptation, and I was kind of on the edge of my seat throughout it when I
Okay.
watched it in Arizona. I remember where I was. I watched it with my family.
Hmm.
So David Fincher is S for me. Yeah.
Hmm.
And up next, another David Lynch.
Oh, David Lynch, classic. He's a true auteur. He's a genius. I actually really like basically all of his movies. Actually, no, I don't like Eraserhead. Sue me. I think it's
I
boring.
like all his movies. I don't think he's like David. The three Davids here are all kind of high praise for me.
Yeah.
David Fincher, David Lynch, David Cronenberg.
Yeah,
So
I
this is
would,
the
I would, I
reality.
would give him an S. He's really a genius. I've like,
No, I wouldn't give him an S.
I
I'll tell you
would,
why.
but okay, it's up
Why?
to you.
Because of you like the Dune. I like the Dune, and I
No, I've
like
never seen it,
Blue
but
Velvet.
I liked Lost Highway. I liked Blue Velvet. I liked Mulholland Drive.
Mulholland Drive was okay. It wasn't amazing.
Oh,
It was
I
good.
think it is. I think it is.
But I don't like all the lesbian stuff. I'm just so
But
tired of
that's
seeing.
I know, but
I don't know
you
why. I don't
gotta
even know why
you
lesbians
gotta
exist.
dig into it. You gotta. It's
Yeah.
not. He's not being exploitative. It all means something. Admittedly, Twin Peaks I find boring. Eraserhead I find boring. Ironically, those are his like most well known things, and I just find them like. Actually, I didn't find Eraserhead boring. I just thought it was a bit too.
Twin Peaks I liked more than Mulholland Drive, or maybe
Yeah. Well,
equivalent.
Mulholland.
And
I mean,
then
Mulholland Drive's pretty
what was
obtuse
Lost
and
Highway?
obscure.
So there's the other one that's not. You're talking so fast.
Sorry,
There's Lost Highway.
I'm just a
But
super
then there's the
fan.
other one that's not. There's the other one that's not Lost Highway. Which one is that? It
Uh,
was around the same time.
Oh, that's another one I love. Shit. What's it called? Um, Damn it, I'm on his Wikipedia page. I can't find
And
it.
then there's the one that the one I
Fuck is
really
it?
do like. It's kind of like Blue Velvet, where they have
Yeah,
Willem Dafoe.
yeah.
What's that one called?
Wild at Heart.
Wild at Heart. That one's good.
That's a good ass movie. It's really good.
That's an underrated good ass movie. And then
Yeah.
Blue Velvet. Well, okay, Lost Highway. What's the other one that was around the same time as Lost
Fire
Highway?
Walk with Me, maybe, or The Straight
Why
Story. The Straight Story. I've never seen that one, but I kind of
you're
want to.
go to his filmography because there's some
I am.
others.
But it's not okay. So there's Eraserhead, Elephant Man, Dune, Blue Velvet, Wild at Heart, Twin Peaks: Fire Walk with Me, Lost Highway, The Straight Story, Mulholland Drive, and last Inland Empire, which I haven't seen.
Inland Empire. Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
That's probably the one I'm thinking of. Anyway, he yeah, I don't want to give all three Davids high ranking, but I just end up giving it.
Well, don't do it. Don't just ignore the name. Just look at the work.
I'll give him an A. I think he and Cronenberg are kind of at the same level.
I think he's better, but maybe I just have to see more Cronenberg's.
You haven't seen enough Cronenberg. That's their problem. You don't understand.
All right, all right.
I mean, Cronenberg has more movies he's done, and every one
Well,
of them is pretty good.
like you're saying, it's not just body horror. It's not even like really good high level body horror.
You
I mean,
haven't
like
seen them, dude.
I know,
You're going on this weird like, oh well, I just fall.
I know. You're right. You're right. It's I think it's
I'll
just
give maybe David Lynch is like an A plus,
yeah.
and then David Cronenberg's like an A minus.
Okay. Well, like I
For
said, I don't know.
I can concede that, but I think Fincher is like an actual like major director. I think these guys are a little like they're trying to be artistic, but
Well,
Fincher is trying
you'd
to.
say they were pretentious and they don't earn it or something.
Well, I don't know if I use that phraseology, but yeah, I think that
Yeah.
they're it's not they don't really make entertaining movies. They make movies that are like thought pieces.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I
Okay.
like them. But
I like them, but I don't. At the end of the day, I want something to
you
be
want some
entertaining too.
entertainment. That's fair.
I want it to be balanced.
That's fair. Maybe I'm a little too whatever. All
Okay,
right,
I mean, I'll give him.
Villanueva.
We don't have to overthink it. We give him all really
Exactly. I'm not even. I'm just like recapping what you
high
said.
ranks. For the most. Okay, give
Okay.
me Villanueva. What's his? What are his filmography?
Villanueva.
He's good. I know he's good. I just forget what
August
they
30.
were.
These are no one's ever heard of these. August 32nd on Earth. Maelstrom, Polytechnique, Incendies, Prisoners, Enemy, Sicario. Uh,
Prisoners is great.
Neo remake of Sicario, I think.
This guy's awesome. He
Arrival, Blade Runner 2049, Dune, and Dune Part Two.
oh, and he did
I
Dune.
didn't like the last three ones. Blade Runner, Dune, and Dune Part Two.
Yeah, well, I like the Blade Runner. I didn't like it because it was a remake or it was a sequel that was like way out of time. But
Uh,
it was a good movie in its own right. It was not shouldn't have been the sequel,
I
Blade Runner.
it was well made, but I don't.
It
I
was a
just
good movie on its. And if the Blade Runner didn't exist, we'd be like, oh, that was a cool movie. So I
yeah
do think it was a cool movie. It's just it wasn't the sequel that Blade Runner deserved.
yeah that's a pretty
What
good
it,
point. I mean, I
and
almost feel like it was almost like overshadowed. I mean, I just got the sense that just having like an
he did
old ass
Dune. This
Harrison
was cool, man.
Ford
You
with
gotta give
pot
this guy
billing.
credit. He's doing the science fiction. He's doing it
Yeah, but
pretty
he's
snappy.
not doing anything new. I mean, he did do Arrival, which was new, but like I don't. I don't want these
Okay,
like.
I couldn't get. I had a hard time getting into Arrival because mostly because they don't show the aliens. Did you see it?
No, I didn't.
Okay, as far as I could tell, they didn't really show the aliens much. So, or at all. Um, the Prisoners is very good. You have to see Prisoners.
All right, maybe he's good apart from the stuff I don't
That's
like.
like as good. That's like Nightcrawler level. It's like really good.
Shit, I
Um,
haven't seen Nightcrawler.
it's got Jake Gyllenhaal too. That's why I say it.
All right.
Or Donnie Darko. It's like It's like a Donnie Darko meets Nightcrawler.
So
Anyway,
it's a very cult film, I guess.
it has Hugh Jackman. It's not like super cult, but it was just it didn't get a lot of press.
Yeah.
Um, he's a good director. What was the other ones you mentioned? There was some that I
Uh, Let me go back. There's Incendies, Polytechnique, Maelstrom, Enemy, Sicario, and August 32nd on Earth.
okay. Sicario I haven't seen. I've been meaning to. I keep forgetting that this guy
Didn't
did.
we see the original Sicario? Am I crazy? Oh,
We could do it for
we
the
saw
movie.
Serpico.
Oh yeah, we could do it for the movie night just because we saw Serpico. We'll see Sicario. How about
Uh,
Sicario's good. It's what you don't want to do. You don't want to do it for the movie night.
um, I'm kind of the movie doesn't look that interesting. I could
Okay,
try it
well,
though. Maybe I just don't like thrillers. I could try it. I'm not gonna complain. I'm not speaking
you gotta
rip.
get it.
I think you know what? I think I've actually seen a screenshot from Sicario that was so well shot. It was so beautiful. It was like, dang, what is this movie? Um,
I don't really understand why they're focusing so much on the cartels, but I do think it's a cool concept.
yeah.
A
Okay. No.
little.
I was right, dude. There's this beautiful screenshot, which just okay.
Okay, send it to me.
Any movie that
Send it to me, but
yeah
don't let's not dwell on it. But we'll look at it later.
yeah. Any movie that
Um,
shoot. I don't.
how about okay? How about this?
I gotta send it to you
What
on
do you rank
Facebook
him?
Messenger.
You give him an A. I'll give him an A.
I wouldn't give him an A, but it's up to you. It's your
I mean, I
list.
guess Tim Burton's probably in the same tier, so I'll give him B.
All right.
He's not Dario Argento, you know.
Okay. Moving on.
Did you send
Yeah,
the
I
photo?
sent on Messenger because the recording
Okay,
software
I'll
we're
look at it
using
later.
does not support pivoting too
Right.
much.
What's it a photo of? Just so I have context.
It's just these soldiers illuminated against the twilight darkness. Army soldiers, presumably in Mexico or southern
Yeah,
U.S.
he
Like,
does good. He does good shots of like light hitting the dark and yeah,
yeah,
he does kind of good shots like that. But
I really
he's
appreciate that in a director. As
but I
simplistic
will
as
say
that
that he's
sounds.
the reason he's not A is I do think he lacks a little bit of personality.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think even Prisoners was had the most personality of anyone that I've seen, but I think overall it kind of lacks personality. Um, okay, up
okay.
next is Ernst Lubitsch.
I saw part of a Lubitsch film once, and it did have that. It did have this really weird, unexpected, unexpectedly intense subtlety. Particularly, even today, the little touches would have been considered like very subtle. And
I've never heard of this guy. I mean,
there's this thing
he's
that
one.
he was this I think Austro-Hungarian Jewish guy who came to the U.S. And there's something called the Lubitsch touch or something, which he just has this reputation for these weird little subtle jokes. So a very intriguing guy. I feel like um, Budapest Hotel was kind of quote inspired by him, even though it's not really, but something of his
Okay, so
sensibility is.
this guy, despite only know him his name in passing, he's actually you're saying he's pretty cool. Would you
Yeah.
can you give him a rank?
Well, I found the one movie I watched of his kind of I couldn't get through it. It was too boring. It was
Well, yeah,
intriguing,
that's
but
one
it
of
was
those
just
old
like
movies. To be fair.
yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's not his fault that he lived, back in the day. So I can't give him a fair ranking, only having seen
All right,
part of
we'll
one of his movies.
disqualify him for now.
Yeah,
Up next is Fellini, someone
yeah,
who's easier to qualify.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. By the way, I'm gonna go ahead and be a real man and give Villeneuve an A because I think that's what he deserves
All right,
personally.
it's your list.
I think he's I know I think he's that good. Like I think it would be wrong for me to
Maybe
give him an A.
yeah. I'll see his other stuff and figure it out.
Okay, and then Fellini. Okay, we got Fellini.
Well, Fellini's at least an A, I think.
Well, yeah, oh yeah. On total balance, he's definitely at least an A. I think a lot of his films are really strange, but
Yeah, they are.
you can't deny the madman, running amok. throughout it all. Like he's definitely his circus act genius. Um,
that's that's
I
so
even
that's
went to his
yeah.
even went to his house when I was
Wow,
in Rimini,
that's
or I
really
went to
cool.
his like the gift shop or whatever that they had for his house. I don't remember,
Yeah,
but it was a commemoration.
that's crazy.
And
Yeah, no, the the circus thing. That's such a funny
he's
because
cool. Like if you and
yeah,
if this, I tell you, man, if you meet a girl that likes Fellini movies, probably a cool chick because
yeah,
he bridges the gap. He's the thigh gap. He's a very well known, awesome filmmaker
it's
that
great.
the women who like film have to appreciate because
Yeah,
he's that big of a name. But he's not douchey enough where it's like,
where
oh,
it's obligatory. Yeah,
or
I
he's
know
not
what you mean.
douchey enough where it's obligatory, and if they like him, you kind of feel like they're being a poser.
Yeah,
This guy is like you kind of have to die on the hill a little to say you like him.
I know.
But there's merit to it
But
because
it's yeah, it's a
he's a
sign of sincerity. Yeah,
it's a mark of sincerity. Yeah. So I'll give him an A.
yeah,
I
he's an
don't think he's
A.
S. I don't think he's an
He's
S,
not. No,
but I
he's
think he's
actually. I agree. He's not because he. What he is he's too. He's like too sloppy. It's like this Italian thing of just like, oh, I dropped spaghetti everywhere. like,
well, you know what it
you
is that
know.
they had uh realism, neo-realism or whatever with
Yeah.
Rossellini, and that was right hard boiled, and that was right after World War II had ended,
Hmm.
and it was all about making like what happened in World War II depicted realistically. That was kind of the Rossellini touch,
Yeah.
but Fellini
Well,
kind of
he's the
didn't like
opposite of
that.
that. Yeah.
He was a reaction to it.
Yeah.
He was a reaction to it, and fundamentally the opposite,
Yeah.
because he was like, these movies are so fucking realistic. It's like, can't we see that there's like humor, and can't we see that there's like sometimes things don't happen as they're scheduled to happen, and it's not always business first. And so,
that's
and
that's great.
so,
That's a great
I don't. I
description of
suppose
it,
that's how
man.
he thought about it. I have no idea. Um,
Well, that's how it feels. Yeah.
and he died. He died like he didn't live that long. Like he didn't live into the 21st century,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So he 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 kind of had like a weird like arc, almost like Picasso or someone. Anyway,
Yeah. I know he does
um,
feel like a guy who doesn't. He feels like a pre-'80s guy, even though he probably made
yeah,
movies in the '80s.
he definitely seems like modern, but maybe not postmodern.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
he doesn't seem extremely postmodern. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, because
Virgin.
like postmodern, it
Okay,
could
well let's
stretch
start with
anyway.
the philosophical BS. Let's go to the next
Anyway,
guy.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. All right,
Francis,
but you gotta put him in A. You gotta move the little token.
I did put him in A.
Oh shoot! I think your screen sharing is frozen. Then,
For you,
can you turn it off and on again?
what are we recording on?
I'm I, I'm recording it. Everything's fine in the recording, but
Okay.
your screen sharing just froze at Fellini. So it's like it's a minor. So if you
Okay.
turn off and turn
Stop
it back on,
streaming.
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Updated.
Yeah, yeah. It's back.
How long was that? Not that long of a gap.
No, it was only as long as that one director Fellini, and I only
Okay.
noticed. But
Well,
like
we
you
have the
weren't.
audio.
Yeah,
We have the audio.
exactly. Which is what matters because like
Perfect.
you
Perfect.
dragging a little token.
Perfetto.
Yeah,
Perfetto,
it's
Geppetto.
chill. Yeah,
Okay.
see, Italian. All right,
Now we have
Coppola.
another. Now, oh yeah. By the way, that fucking horrendous adaptation of Pinocchio. That I don't even want to see it. That what's his name did.
Oh,
Guillermo del
Guillermo del
Toro.
Toro. Yeah.
I just like, oh my gosh, he really had to do. It's 2023, and he's doing a Pinocchio movie. Like, are you how out the lunch can you be? Like, I know he's got some good movies, but like, it's everything is so soupy and like wishy-washy and like overblown and like, why not just do something like Hellboy again? Like, I don't know why is he doing all these like fatso kind of things like it's just dreamy. Everything's a dream. It's like not everything's a dream, dude.
Oh
Who
man.
watches this shit? Okay, anyway, it's like Disney princess bullshit. All of it. I mean, and he's supposed to be like this amazing director. He's like the most annoying, insufferable human being I've ever heard of. Okay,
That's great. That's really funny.
okay.
Um,
Up next, Francis Ford Coppola.
yes. So I think I've only seen Apocalypse Now. Honestly, I didn't like The Godfather. I know it's cringy and it's like Family Guy to not like The Godfather or whatever. But screw it. I thought it was boring. I couldn't get through the first movie. I'll retry it someday. On the other hand,
You're insane. The fact that you have the balls to even have an opinion on
No,
him.
you know what, man? You know what else? You really want to know? I think
What?
I don't like any Scorsese movies. I don't get why, like,
Okay,
yeah,
you're more
yeah, you,
Italian than I am. I'm not
yeah.
even really Italian, but
Well, that's the
you're
thing. He's
like
not a
1%
true
Italian.
freaking wop. Taxi
You're like
Driver
50%.
yeah, Taxi Driver, boring. Okay,
Yeah, those are
admittedly, Wolf of
okay.
Wall Street was exploitative and stupid, and like Wolf of Wall Street was the kind of movie that like a bro watches, kind of, or not even like it's the movie like a high school kid thinks is cool.
It was like a high school kid
It's like
movie.
a
You're so right
yeah.
about
It's
that.
so
I
so
completely agree.
sophomoric. The Irishman was cringy because it's these old decrepit men being CGI to young people. I can't take it seriously. Last Temptation of Christ is like I object to that on like religious grounds. Silence, same thing. People think that like uh,
What happened in Silence that was so like
it's just it's
irreconcilable?
just this guy who goes to Japan and
Japan,
he
yeah,
gets
I know the
tortured.
story.
Well, no, he gets tortured and then he apostatizes. And it's like, well, look what his God did. Didn't save him. Did it?
That's pretty lame.
And it's
Sorry,
just I
that
don't
sounds
know.
so lame.
It's very it's like
It
it's
doesn't
it's
really sound like a.
masochistic. It's not even I'm not even as offended by the
Okay, well
blasphemy as the
we'll
masochism.
get to Scorsese. Don't
Anyway,
worry about it.
anyway, Coppola, The Godfather. I don't care what else. I'm sorry. Apocalypse Now.
You're really trying to compare him to Scorsese. They're not even that similar.
Well, they're not, but
They are both
they
self-indulgent.
kind of
They are
are.
both
They're no,
self-indulgent.
they're come on.
I'll give you that.
They're both quote new Hollywood
They
Italian
are.
gangster movie guys who are kind of their name is like set in stone. But weirdly, Coppola is not even like
Coppola.
whatever. Yeah, Coppola. Coppola is not even people don't I feel like his name doesn't have as much weight as Scorsese. Maybe because he hasn't made as many
That's because you know
movies.
why? You know why? It's because he has that wine company, and everyone just thinks, "Oh yeah, he made fucking wine."
Yeah, it sort of sells the brand out. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, that's why. If Scorsese had a wine company, people would get tired of talking to him too. Believe
That's
me.
great. I like that.
Um,
That's very earthy. It's very true. It's very true.
I think okay. Cool. Can we get to my opinion? Because your
Yeah,
opinion is
yeah,
like
yeah.
a
My,
shit bucket on over on his
I
head.
know, which is going to make your opinion so much better by contrast. Really,
Probably.
it's
Um,
chiaroscuro.
it is chiaroscuro. Yes. No. The light in the shade. No. Godfather. The first Godfather was a fucking monolith. Everything about it was awesome, and you know it's awesome because in that same year they had another mafia film called The Valachi Papers. That
Yeah,
was it was like the running up. It was the second best mafia film in that year,
yeah.
and it's also really good, but it has no craft. It's all script, and
Hmm.
it's such a good script, but the craft was so bad compared to The Godfather, where
I
it
like
had
that.
script and craft,
Yeah.
and obviously the actors in The Godfather are like perfectly cast. Marlon Brando at various angles might not always look like a mafia dude, but his acting was on par. It was on point.
He's a great actor.
The
He's my
music
favorite
is
actor.
the music is phenomenal. He's a very human actor,
Mm.
too, and larger than life, right? And
Yeah.
Al Pacino, all like I forget all the names of these guys. Like the consigliere character. I forget
Hmm.
the actor's name because he's like he was the white guy. He wasn't the Italian, right? He was like the Anglo dude, perhaps.
Yeah. I vaguely remember
Um,
that.
and then the Sonny's character is the guy James Caan who just died, and
Mm.
R.I.P. And he had a really good performance by Sonny. And then Robert De Niro in the second one was pretty good. Um, I like the second one. The third one I like too. The third one's kind of a guilty pleasure, but I like it.
Yeah.
All three those movies are like really good, and the reason you don't like them is probably because they're just so kind of slow paced for what they're supposed to be about.
Hmm.
It's just about guys shooting murder. It's about like
I
warfare.
You know what? I can test that because I actually don't really care about thriller action stuff, I would say I couldn't know what was going on. Um, so it's almost
Well,
like
that's not. What does that?
no,
That's
just
not. That's not. That's what does that mean? Explain.
I take in a movie. I think I know that sounds really pretentious. I take in a lot of it just from like what it looks like and what it feels like is happening. So maybe the story was really good, but I couldn't follow it. Maybe that makes me like an idiot or something. But
Yeah, what makes you kind of an idiot because you're not paying attention.
but I was paying attention. You know, I'm paying attention to something else. You know, I don't.
Okay,
I
well,
feel like
on
it's not necessarily my problem because I see a lot of movies and I don't get that sense of being lost that I got in The Godfather. I'll watch it again though. I'll pay close attention. You know, everyone loves it so much. I'd be remiss not to. And you know, I love Apocalypse Now. Like I knew what was going on there, so it's not even him. It's just this one movie. But enough about me. Yeah, yeah, great
yeah,
director.
I mean, did the conversation by the way in between Apocalypse Now, I think, and The Godfather. Conversation was a good movie. It's about a guy who
Yeah.
Gene Hackman spies on people with all these detecting
Hmm.
technologies. It takes place in San Francisco, but so
Hmm.
you get to see old San Francisco and the
That's
different
cool.
neon lights on Lombard Street and all the hotels and like on kind of glitter in the night. It's cool. It's a cool movie.
Oh man, that sounds great.
Um, I think he goes to DC at one point, and that's kind of cool too. I don't really know if that's true or not.
Hmm.
Harrison Ford's in it too, and also Harrison Ford is in he's in the Apocalypse Now,
Oh yeah,
and
he's the lackey who's like
he's
touching
but
the
he's it's funny
audio
though because
tape.
he's also a lackey in the Conversation. He's got the same sort of level of role.
That's great.
And this is I think it was one of them was before A New Hope, and the other one was after, right? Anyway,
Well, he had his
uh,
moment of glory then.
yeah, yeah, I think in the Conversation it was before A New Hope, and Apocalypse Now is after. I don't know
That's great.
offhand. Um, but obviously in the '80s he did different stuff. He did like The Outsiders and Rumblefish, and he did The
Hmm.
Cotton Club, which are really interesting. And The Cotton Club might have been a '90s film, but I think in the '90s he was more famous for like Dracula.
Hmm.
And he's doing a film now with Adam Driver called Megapolis or whatever. He's been working. He's
Megapolis?
probably Megapolis, yeah.
Huh.
It's based on a dialogue by no, it's based on a book by Cicero on duties or something. I forget which one. It's based on
Dude, that sounds fucking awesome.
Dude, I'm telling you, you're so clueless. You think this guy is not a bad director. Everything he's done
I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he
has
is at
had
all.
some sort of
I'm not
sensitivity
saying it is
to
at all.
the particular cultural light of every the shade of every light in the moment
Is he S?
of the year that he made the film
Hmm.
of the 2.5 year period or the
Eloquent.
epoch or whatever.
Eloquent.
So well, I don't know, but I'm just saying, and so the fact that he has a wine company is just sort of a side reel. It has nothing to do with his actual movies so much.
Side reel.
Um, the Dracula film was pretty good too. But that's been remade like 20 times, right? But
Yeah.
still, but for a Dracula film, it was really like striking. It's probably the most visually lush um, Dracula film for sure. And it does help that you have modern effects on it too.
Yeah.
Even the practical effects are quite remarkable. He's a spectacular filmmaker, but he's never lacked subtlety. I
Hmm.
think you can't say that about a lot anyone.
Yeah.
I think Christopher Nolan wishes he could be Coppola, whether
Yeah.
he admits it or not. I don't know. He probably would rather be Ridley Scott, but I think he's wrong. I think he should also be try to be like Coppola. So Coppola is sort of like a lazy Ridley Scott, kind
Yeah.
of, or a lazy. He's got I don't know. I don't know how to explain. Like he's sort of insouciant. He has a demeanor to him. But, he's a portly man. He's been portly. But George Lucas has too. So
Well,
it's sort of
they're very
it's a
connected. I think
combination
they
of
were
George
friends.
Lucas and Scorsese. He's got the kind of that dreamy ambitiousness combined with sort of the brass tacks grasp on reality.
That's a
Um,
great description. That is dead on. from all I know of
I don't know
any
if
of
I
them.
give him an S because I like you said, I think he does sort of do films that don't have great pacing,
Hmm.
that are that kind of belabor themes that are sort of assumed.
I don't know,
And
man. He's better
I
than
think
Woody
that
Allen. He's better than Woody Allen to my mind. You know?
well, I do like. I think he's not super prolific.
Yeah.
Um,
All right.
I'll give him an S. I'll give him an S because I think every decade he's made a film. Maybe not in recent last 20 years, but before that, in the 20th century, he's made a film that has been a touchstone of that decade.
Yeah, I mean, that's
I think so.
not for nothing that
Yeah, it is, and Gordon, his director of photography on The Godfather was like one of the best ever, and he worked with Woody Allen and some of Woody Allen's best movies too.
Hmm.
So Gordon Willis appreciates both Coppola and Allen because he worked for both of them
Yeah.
in the same 10 year span
Hmm.
or something like that, and it's like 6 year within 6 years of 5 years or whatever. So what Stardust Memories I think and Broadway Danny Rose, right? So yeah, Gordon Willis likes Woody Allen, and he also likes Coppola, so it is possible.
Hmm.
Um, well, if you don't like Coppola, then maybe you'll love this next
Dude, I
guy.
don't not like Coppola. I don't like The Godfather necessarily, but I'll rewatch it. Um, but hey, before we go to the net, we'll leave our viewers hanging. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm gonna pause, but I'll be right back. So I'm
All
gonna
right, sounds
pause
good.
recording now. We're
Okay,
back.
so we're back and at it. I think Frank Coppola is S. I don't know so much how I feel about Truffaut.
Hmm. Yeah. Let's see.
Truffaut is kind of like every film school kid's like wet dream. It's just like
Yeah.
he's very classy, very disciplinarian looking. Yeah, he's an established filmmaker and an established critical writer on film filmmaking and cinematic studies.
Yeah.
I think if you're a true nerd, you kind of have to like that. But I don't know if his films hold up. I mean, 400 blows or whatever, 500, 400, right?
Yeah. For her.
Why would anyone in their right mind make a movie about a bunch of kids in the classroom? And I think that's the most monotonous subject matter. I don't know. And
Yeah.
even if you did like a good job at it, I just like there's that movie To Sir with Love, and like that movie was kind of like there's a French movie that was kind of like that too. It was kind of the same story,
Yeah.
ripped off on it, and then but that one was also just kind of like who cares? And his biggest movie is a movie. It's like who fucking cares? I mean, that's how I feel. Um,
Yeah.
I know he probably broke the mold, like he had to, right? Or else no one would talk about him. But
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, we were both sort of friendly with someone who's a big fan on Truffaut. I just don't
Yeah.
have. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about, but yeah.
I don't. But
I'll give him the initials JC.
oh, that's interesting. Although kind
Yeah,
of
I think
expected.
he's more than a little bit of a fan, but still, I just don't get it. Um, yeah. Anyway, what's your take?
I haven't seen any of his movies, so I can't say.
His boobies. You haven't seen his boobies. Yeah, I haven't seen his boobies either, but I think he's one. So
Nice.
uh, I'll
Um,
give him
well, like you said, yeah, he's got to be
I'll
this
give him a
big.
D. I gotta give him a D because I
Yeah.
think he's like Ang Lee to me. It's like,
Yeah.
wow, big. He has a big name, and the execution is just sort of like boring, boring. And I'm a guy I can tolerate boring films, but
Yeah.
when it's so overstuffed with like filler silence, like a Robert Bresson or whatever,
Yeah.
it just like it's like chalk scraping on the fucking
Yeah.
bored, and I'm like, and I am bored. So, fuck, dude. I feel guilty, but I just can't admit that
You can't
that I
lie.
I,
You have to admit. You can't not admit.
I can't lie. I can admit that there's an appeal to some guy with a name like Francois Truffaut because it sounds like French truffles, or it sounds a little like culinary or like a little like effete and fey and sort of in its own place and settled. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna go around telling everyone that I just saw a Truffaut film. Like Fellini's a little better because with Fellini, it's like it's all over the place. It's silly. You kind of get the impression that he changes angles a lot, so there's always something a different photo to examine. But with Truffaut, it's like it's so much more slow and staid. It's really
Yeah.
it's you know what it is. It's that sweater you wear for Christmas that you wear ironically, but you end up kind of liking it because you just wear it all the time. But it's still, and then people are like, "Hey, you look good," and you're like, "Yeah, do I really look good, or are you just saying that because I'm wearing a goofy ass Christmas sweater, with the fucking, reindeer stitched and embroidered into it and like all that, the knitted sweater, right?
Yeah.
That's what Trofo is. If he were a garment, he would be precisely
An
that,
ugly Christmas sweater.
an ugly Christmas sweater that people wear ironically, and it just sort of becomes like normal after a while. Um,
Hmm.
I give him a D.
Sure.
I'll give him a C because I think at least he was sort of like a theory. He kind of didn't. I think the C category for me is people that kind of just did their job, and even if their job was sort of stupid.
Yeah.
But where D gets to is where I feel like they almost betrayed their job, like they didn't
Hmm.
even do their job.
Yeah.
And then E is like shill sellout, cash cow,
Yeah.
and I don't even know what F is yet. We haven't found an F.
Yeah. We really haven't. It's kind of interesting.
Oh, let's continue. We got
Shows our
next. Up
charity.
next is actually one of my favorites. Kind of everyone likes this guy, Akira Kurosawa.
Oh shoot, man! You got to restart screen sharing. It's frozen.
You can hear the audio, right?
Yeah, audio's fine. Just got to restart the
Okay.
screen sharing.
Okay. When did it freeze?
Right before Truffaut, I think. I just noticed
Oh,
it.
so you didn't see me place them. Okay.
Yeah, just gotta reboot it real quick. All right. I see Kurosawa. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said before, I put Truffaut in C. I was saying that these are people that I don't really like the scope of their work. But I think they fulfilled their own tasks for themselves pretty well. It
Yeah.
seems like. Whereas D is more like, yeah, their career. I don't know what the fuck their career is. And I don't fucking care. And then E is I know what their career is, and I really don't like it.
Yeah.
And F is just like I think is a combination of D
Yeah.
and atrocity. Okay, Akira Kurosawa. Okay, I'll tell you, man. Really like Yojimbo. I like The Hidden Fortress a little. I have to rewatch it. I know it has potential.
Yeah.
Um,
You ever see Ron?
Rashomon's cool. Ron, I didn't get into it because it was colorized, but I intend to. It breaks my heart that he got into whatever it was like the CinemaScope and the Technicolor or whatever at that point.
Interesting.
Even though it's like his last film, I will watch it because it's about horsed warriors. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Um, it has to be cool, I guess. Obviously, Seven Samurai is classic, classic, classic. Uh, he did some other thing I don't remember, but yeah, everything I've seen by him has had some sort of lasting memory and appeal. Maybe it's just by dint of him focusing so much on Japanese civilization, but
Hmm.
it does feel like sort of hardened and muscular and
Yeah.
kind of down in the trenches, and honor bound. So for me, he's an A. Yeah, I mean, I definitely love his movies. I don't necessarily have like a lot of things to say about every movie because it's really all kind of meat and potatoes at the end of the day. It's like good stories about peasants, and then the peasants kind of have to interact with corrupt lords, and then there's the knightly class that sort of protects them, and that's sort of there's chivalric episodes. They're really riffing off of the knight sort of trope.
Hmm.
well heeled groomed knight trope in the Western sort of troubadour songs,
Hmm.
but it's a Japanese sort of visualized version form,
Hmm.
and it actually kind of plays like a Western too. So and in fact, Kurosawa was really big on Westerns.
Hmm.
That was kind of the whole thing for him, as far as I can tell.
It's interesting.
Uh, so yeah, he's kind of a sentimentalist on Japanese culture, but not overly so like Ozu perhaps is. Then
Yeah.
again, you have the yin and yang with both of them. Kurosawa is sort of strident and brash and out and about, and Ozu is sort of demure and task based, and that's kind of the chief difference.
Hmm.
And if you want Japanese cinema in a sort of a mid-century kind of golden age, you kind of point to those two and no one else.
Yeah.
So, what else can you say? They're lions. You can tell a lion by its paw, right? Those guys are fucking
I like that.
fucking howl
Damn.
or roar. I guess wolves howl. No.
Yeah.
Who's a wolf? Oh, here's a wolf. Fritz Lang
Yeah.
and
Really.
F. Murnau, the German wolves,
Yeah.
not the Japanese lions. What do you think of?
That's great.
Were you gonna say something about Kurosawa?
No, I'd only ever seen Rashomon. It was good, but I saw it a long time ago.
That's kind of the one that it has the coolest name. I don't know if it's his best movie, but it is his coolest name. Okay,
Yeah.
Fritz Lang.
Yep.
What's
I really like Metropolis, but I tried to see it with someone years ago, and they just got kind of bored by it, and I felt kind of I don't know. I still think it's amazing. I've never seen any. Did he do Cabinet of Doctor? No, he didn't. That was someone else, I think. Cabinet of Doctor Caligari. That's someone else. Yeah, I mean Metropolis is enough. Metropolis is like amazing. I think. What do you think?
I liked M.
Hmm.
It's about a whole different concept. It was like a pre-Nazi movie about like the Nazi attitude.
Oh,
Really
interesting.
deep. Well, they find a criminal who's
Hmm.
killed a kid, and the whole town confronts him and it's like, why did you do this? And
Wow.
it's all this whole thing about like the common people like deciding to like fuck over this person for I think he killed a kid or he was accused of it,
Wow.
and it was kind of exactly like their in the way they viewed the Jews, I guess. It's like
Wow.
you ruined something, you ruined our civilization, our childhoods, or the future for our kids. I don't know what it really meant. You ruined posterity, I guess, is what
Wow.
they accused the Jews of. So yeah, maybe they accused the Jews of ruining their ability to compete in the colonial marketplace or whatever with the British and the French
Huh.
in the colonial theater. But anyway, I arena. I think that was a good movie. Metropolis is obviously a lot more blatantly good. I think his style is a little. It seems like he has more potential if you get into more of his films. He is kind of like the famous Nazi sort of director. Um,
Wow.
I think he might be kind of at a B rank. I think
Jeez.
he I think what his message that he didn't really have a coherent message, but he did have a lot of talent, and his movies were really good, but they didn't really congeal into like a cohesive mission statement.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
can just sort of feel when you watch them. There's a kind of a little too much variety in what he focused on. And at the same time, it's very German, but it's just
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like he has like a serious attitude one way or another.
Hmm.
And to be fair, that at the time that was maybe a little bit less of a distinct possibility, or more something that was reserved and rarefied, less expected.
Yeah.
But I still think he suffers from it, and he's a B for me.
Okay.
Um, Up next is F. Murnau. Do you know this guy?
Oh, sorry. It almost froze for a second. No, I never heard of him. Let me look
He,
that up.
he
F.
did Nosferatu, the vampire. Or no, he did not the vampire. He just did OG Nosferatu. 22, 23, 23.
Nosferatu.
Is it
Um,
23 or 27?
it's 22 actually.
22. Okay, second.
The Last
Was that the
Laugh.
first one I said? Did I say 22 first?
You said 23. I think you said 22 first. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Maybe. Who knows?
Hmm.
Was it?
I don't know. I was reading. I was reading the film titles.
uh,
Sunrise.
so okay, I've only seen Nosferatu because this guy. I figure if you make Nosferatu, I don't know anything else you made, then you're probably Nosferatu is the only thing that I need to see. I just that's how you know what I mean. Like if
Yeah.
you Nosferatu is so famous that what else could you have made that would have been at that level?
Yeah.
I haven't already heard of. Um, Still, this guy's cool. I mean, you make Nosferatu, that's kind of like
Sure.
wild. I like that movie. Um, did the other ones seem like horror or like
No, not at
expressionism?
all. Sunrise was a American silent romantic drama film. Um, the
Okay, well,
Last
this
Laugh. Let's see.
this guy is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, he immigrated to Hollywood in 1926 and made three films, one of which is thought to be the best ever made. He made a film called Taboo, a story of the South Seas in 1931. That's crazy. That's intriguing.
okay,
Eight of his films are lost. I mean, this guy's
eight of his
really
films are lost.
this guy's really early, you know. Um,
Eight of his films are lost. That's kind of crazy. Just
yeah,
go
that's
some treasure chest out there has his movies.
yeah.
Okay, I will put him in C. I think he was like doing some weird. He was up to some freak shit, and he kind of got some really cool success with Nosferatu. But beyond that, it's sort of eccentric.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, maybe that South Sea one is like dynamite. I don't know. Uh,
It sounds interesting, but I don't know.
I can't rightfully say that he's like making like two movies that are like super good. You know,
Yeah,
like Nosferatu was like super good, but it's like a one off. It feels like a one hit wonder. Um, let me. What do you think? Do you think he deserves a B just out of
I would
faith?
guess. Yeah, out of faith, I'd give him a B. I would.
Okay, I'll give him.
Yeah. All right.
Now we have
Gaspar
no
Noé.
way. It's funny. Someone recommended this to me when I was living in Rome, and I thought they were saying Gaspar de la Nuit. It was like a painter or something. And I looked up, or someone. I looked them up. I'm like, this guy's not a director. Why are you saying this? Like, this guy's not a fucking director. I got kind of annoyed. Like,
Jeez.
like blatantly,
Oh
visibly
yeah.
annoyed. And then I realized, like, oh, and then I looked at this list just now. I'm like, oh, this guy, I have seen this name before. He is a director, just the name is a little different.
Yeah.
Gaspar Noé. And maybe I've seen a movie by him. What has he done?
He's done I Stand Alone, Irreversible, Enter the Void, Love, Climax, Lux Aeterna, and
Okay, this is an
Vortex.
art student. This is like a girly art student guy who you
Yeah.
know, maybe the lesbians like. I don't really know. I
Yeah.
think I think this guy's probably got some good movies, but I don't. He seems like an auteur.
Yeah. I find it a little bit overly superficial and degenerate. I saw Enter the Void. I just, I didn't like it at all. Love just seems extremely degenerate and disgusting.
What is it about? Why are you saying these
It's.
things?
I've read about it. It's just, it's got a lot of unsimulated actors have sex a lot. It's about these. Okay, so it's about this guy.
Is it degenerate or is it just really like sexual?
Um,
There's a difference.
yeah, you're right. Well, you're right. You're right. It's very sexual, and actually, weirdly, it's kind of got a. The message is weirdly positive, sort of like.
Okay, well then don't because we could. There's some people that are making weirder films than that
You're
guy.
right. I know. Just there's something about this. I mean, in a way, it's like to have sexuality with a degeneracy is almost even worse because it becomes this like iPhone of sex, which is just kind of
Oh,
disturbing.
is it like wholesome sex or why is it? What are you
No.
talking about? You're just
Um.
saying you're being extremely vague and it's kind of like, going nowhere. What do you mean?
Uh. I don't know. It's just.
What? Say it.
Uh. I don't know. Say what? Like, I don't know what
What
you
did
mean.
you're saying? There's sex. Every movie has fucking sex in it.
I know, but this one, it's
What is
just
it?
okay. Okay, I've never even seen it, but just reading about it, it seems gratuitous. It's about this guy who is like dating
What's it
two
about?
women at once or something in Paris, and let's see. I remember reading the
You just
synopsis.
say it.
Um, yeah, I don't
Stop saying nothing. You have to say something.
know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like him. I'd give it like a D or
Is it about
so.
like is he a player or is it pornographic or is it like a women's empowerment or is it like scatological or is it
It's just excessive. I just think it's like I just think whenever there's a I mean I saw this other movie recently by this director I actually really like. By the way, did you see Buffalo 66?
yeah, I did see that one. Yeah,
They made
that
another
guy
one.
that guy was like an incel.
Yeah, certainly. Um, I just I think it's weird when there are like real sex scenes in movies. I just find it disturbing. That's basically it.
Okay, well, the
Um,
Hayes Code would be know,
yeah,
your MySpace friend. Okay,
yeah, yeah. I don't know
Hayes
what to
Code
say.
and Tom, right? Right.
Tom.
Gaspo Gaspar. No, I'll give him a C because from what I can tell, he had a set established sort of some sort of strange vision for
Hmm,
himself as a filmmaker,
hmm,
and it seems like he accomplished it.
hmm,
Very French. Seems like, I mean, whatever that means. I mean, he just seems like a little bit degenerate, a little bit like menage a trois, fetishistic. Um, Maybe a Serge Gainsbourg kind of guy at the end of the
hmm.
day, but nonetheless, you can't deny influence and quality. And if he has those, he has them. This is the thing. If he were making weird, like if you were making like the Human Centipede, and I'd be like, okay, this guy sucks. He makes films that are like fairly relatable,
Hmm.
even if they don't depict everyone's reality. They sort of tantalize a possibility somewhat, and they're sort of I don't know. I don't know. Am I ringing any bells here? Because
Well, I've only really seen whatever it's
into
called,
the void.
Enter the Void.
What what is that movie about?
That is about a guy who is he like dies of a drug overdose or something, and his disembodied soul floats around the world, looking at stuff or something, going around
So this
space
is
and
like
time.
depressing. So his movies are depressing. You'd think.
Um, I mean that one. I feel like it's with that one. It was just this lack of like. It's like a lack of restraint almost, kind of.
Is it funny?
No, it's not funny at all. It's pretty humorless. And it's like kind of self-serious, but it just reminds me of like being really into psychedelics. It's the same kind of like lack of. It's like a lack of respect for boundaries. Um, and maybe that's why I don't like.
Was it like a well crafted film, like a kind of bells and whistles and stuff, or is it like really?
No, it actually wasn't. It wasn't interesting or exciting. It's kind of ponderous, I suppose, from what I remember. I don't think I got through the whole thing.
I'll give him a C because I think he's kind of like Carl Theodore Dreyer is probably not extremely different.
Yeah.
Um, but then again, maybe he's like the lobster dude. I don't know. I'll give him a D.
All right. Yeah, no, I do feel like he's on the level of Yorgos. In fact, I think Yorgos is actually, at least from The Favorite, that was pretty well done. But it's that same like this just casual attitude towards sex. I know it sounds like fusty and backwards and whatever, but I just feel like it's unrealistic. It's unrealistic to act like sex is just this like um,
Well, there are people that do that, so
yeah.
I,
So it's realistic in that sense, I guess. I don't know.
but
Whatever.
it's sort of like a delinquent.
It's just it's just I find it fake. I find it kind of fake, weirdly.
What
Whatever. I
is
don't know.
it? Is it like juvenile? You think?
Uh, yeah. I guess. I mean, that's not the primary way I describe it. I just feel like
It
it's kind
sounds
of
kind of they sound kind of intriguing. I'm not gonna lie, so I'm gonna give it a C,
all right.
just because it sounds kind of intriguing.
All right.
Um, George Lucas.
I know this sounds, talk about childish. I'd give him an S. I feel like we don't I listen, we don't even realize we don't yet understand the influence that he has had on us. Like, not to be
Well, okay, George, that's your real name. We
well,
know that.
exactly. That's why I'm on his side. I have to big that
No, I
name up.
agree. I agree. I think he's someone that he got like one good movie, and he just fucking he's the only guy who could give you an S from one movie.
Nah, I like all of them actually. Well, not all of them. Actually, I thought American Graffiti kind of sucked. Um, but I
That
just
wasn't that good of a movie. I'm talking about the New Hope,
all this.
dude. That
Yeah, no, no, I know. I'm tired. Yeah,
even
no.
like even like I mean obviously he had three really good movies, and then like
Yeah,
a bunch of other bells and whistles and hoopla and
yeah,
confetti and crap. But
yeah.
have you ever heard of in the '80s? I think he did. This is before he did Return of the Jedi. I think he did. What's that one
Howard the
movie?
Duck or something.
Willow. At Howard the Duck. Yeah, he did some
Yeah.
weird shit for like for the experience points. Um,
Experience points. That's funny.
uh,
Yeah,
I
Red
yeah,
Tails was terrible.
I don't want to do like a whole breakdown on Star Wars right now because I think no one wants that. But
Yeah,
I will say that Star Wars is like a movie you can always go back to. It's like bread and butter. It's just like always there. It's always been there. It's been there before I was alive. It's gonna be there after I'm alive.
damn,
It's an incredible, and I think that's the first time I've admitted I'm gonna die in my
damn.
life. But still, maybe it won't. Maybe I'll live
Shit.
Star Wars. Who knows? But the glory, galore. But I think Star Wars is like if you make that movie, you had to have like all these things percolating and brewing and storming in your mind's eye for
Damn.
so long, and then you finally get out on into the world. I mean, of course, you should be like rewarded for that if it's the level that it ends up being known for.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
he's not like he's an unusual case because he doesn't have the same sort of um prolific career that you can kind of do like a point by point breakdown and be like, okay, well this was A grade, this was B grade, this is C grade. He kind of has some weird movies that no one cares about, and he has some movies that everyone cares about, just about.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I feel like with him, yeah, did he really direct, some of the other Star Wars films? Not so much, but he did definitely was integral to them.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard because I don't understand what I like about it, but I do love Star Wars.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand it. I think maybe it's sort of a fundamental perspective that he has. He has sort of a fundamental perspective, and it's uncompromising as far as perspective is concerned,
Hmm.
and everything sort of seeps out from there. And that's why Star Wars does have this sort of childishness, but it's kind of oniric and dreamy, but it's not stupid like Guillermo del Toro. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro is like a stupid version of George Lucas,
Yeah.
and yeah, I guess that's all you need to say. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
he showed the movie to a bunch of famous directors, including Spielberg, A New Hope,
mhm.
and none of them got it. Or it was Return of the Jedi. I don't know which one it was, but he showed a movie to them, and none of them got it. None of them liked it, and they're famous directors.
Hmm.
And Spielberg was the only one who liked it.
Hmm. That's interesting.
So that tells you something about George Lucas, I think. But George Lucas as a director, I don't know, man. His record is sort of a great, but then the movies that when it is great, it speaks for itself. Like he has to be S tier.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. It's like he's almost in his own class, weirdly, because he's
He's a
not.
special case.
Yeah, he's
Definitely
just.
a special
Yeah, he's
case.
he's unique.
He
He's
gets
like.
exceptions.
Yeah,
He's not really a director. He's more of like a world builder that just sort of had to be a director at one point.
yeah, that's interesting.
There's too much imagination, and he just had to put it into something. Because a lot of these guys, they don't really have imagination
Yeah,
in that sense.
yeah,
Storytellers, but they're not like dreaming up things. And he really dreamed up like his own little candy land. And he couldn't just make a board game. He had to make a fucking $1 billion franchise.
yeah.
Anyway, oh, by the way, up next, Guillermo del
Guillermo
Toro.
del Toro. Accept no
So what do you,
substitutes. All right, Guillermo del Toro. What did he do? Uh, see,
the Hellboy, Pan's Labyrinth,
I would place this
Water.
guy on the same level as Tim Burton, which was just to say I'd bring Tim Burton down.
I
Hellboy.
think he's a C.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll put Tim
he's
Burton in
he's
C.
so he's so middlebrow, man. It's like you said. I feel like they both are. Like when are they really profound? When are they really deep? Like never.
Well, he has this thing where he's like an outsider because he's from Mexico. So I think he kind of like has this weird like, yeah, I get you guys. I totally get you. Here, let me make a movie just for you. You'll like me. It doesn't feel like organic. It feels like, oh, he's like
Oh,
pandering or something.
yeah, pandering.
Like I don't know. Would you make the same movie in Mexico? Like I don't know if you're making it for Americans or a global audience or
That's
whatever.
interesting.
His whole strategy on like making films seems like he's like moralizing, but I don't know what he's moralizing about.
Hmm.
Do you understand? Like he seems like he's moralizing, but what he's moralizing about is like stupid. It's like not really like that moral.
Hmm. Yeah, I kind of know what you mean. Like, yeah, I mean, from what I've seen of him, I don't. Yeah, I don't get a message of. I don't get a very like clear moral message. I mean, I never saw The Shape of Water or
That was good, but it
Nightmare
wasn't. It was
Alley or. Jeez,
Nightmare Alley.
I think I saw
I missed that
Hellboy.
one.
I think I saw Hellboy 2 in 2008 with my like senile grandmother, and she just didn't understand. God rest her soul. She didn't understand any of the comic book zany
It's a
violence.
weird person to see that movie with, man.
It is, yeah. It was. It was just a nonsensical episode in a meaningless life, or at least confusing life. Um. All right. Oh, look at that, Kung Fu Panda. Oh no, he produced it.
Yeah,
Skit.
sounds about right, dude. Yeah, he's like this gibbering fat guy that just like can't get the fucking bread out of his mouth before you get tired of him spewing like carbohydrates all over the fucking table. He should have been an electrical engineer. I think it would have been his imagination would have been more suited to that. Um,
That's funny.
there's something like about him where it's like he just doesn't get the memo. Like I don't want to. He say he's like on the autistic spectrum, but he just seems like just sort of like low key. He's kind of an asshole, but then
Yeah.
he's sort of. Have you
No,
seen the?
that's the thing, man. That's the or what?
Yeah, what are you saying?
Oh, just like that's the whole middle brow. That's like the middle brow thing to me. Like that's there's they get. I don't, it's really hard to explain. It's like comic books. Like comic books don't really. They're never really that deep because they try to put too much on their plate and they try to say too much and do too much. It's like a lack of simplicity almost, and I feel like he has that in common with Christopher Nolan actually. Um,
Why? Okay, so give me this. Why does Star Wars work, but then whatever he does just sort of falls short?
I think Star Wars is a very simple story, and it's obvious. Like what is Hellboy? Like what is it? Like seriously, like if you're a child, like what is it? Is he a demon? Is he Satan?
It's going the other way around, and it's trying to be Star Wars by going the opposite direction. But it kind of looks the same. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Well, just like what is he? Like he doesn't have horn. It's like cool in quotation marks, but like it doesn't mean anything. It's like pure imagery, which should work, but it's not pure imagery because it's overly complicated imagery, Like it literally, it could be AI generated. Um,
Oh
and
gosh.
yeah.
Well,
So
that's what I'm saying is that there's something wrong with this guy, and I
yeah,
hate to break it to you, but a lot of the like I don't like a lot of like Spanish painting,
yeah,
and I get the impression this guy is like very proud of being like Mexican and whatever, and
yeah,
he's intelligent and he's bilingual or whatever. He speaks languages. I
hmm
don't know. Who cares? And I get the impression that he thinks that like, oh, I have to make everything like a fucking Goya or Velasquez or fucking El Greco perhaps, and it's just like
yeah,
maybe like just make it not like that schmaltzy. Like I don't know, he like he's got this sort of dying flowers aesthetic, and
yeah,
I'm like, not everything. I don't understand everything wilting and withering of of the petal in the leaf. I don't care. I mean, it's like pretty in like a very like Victorian era kind of way. Maybe that's the problem. Like maybe he's just got this sort of neo-Victorian
yeah. No,
steampunk kind
it's
of.
but that's the thing. That's what's so hard to explain. Like what is wrong with steampunk? Like it's almost like it's
Well, it's like a feminist version of like whatever people like about the Middle Ages. It's like
that's interesting.
we like it's like based in like a gruff kind of like can-do atmosphere, but then I think women might view that as like oppressive, whereas steampunk is like not going to have the same style of oppression if it has any, but it's still
Yeah.
going to be like sort of gruff and like grounded. But I think it's all bullshit because being around a bunch of fucking metal contraptions and like pneumatic hydraulic devices,
Yeah.
it's just that's not gonna like make your life a lot better. Like
Well,
that's
it's
that's
not it's not going to ever lead to something beautiful, I think.
well, it's very factory based, factory oriented. If you're into being if you think being working at a factory all fucking day is beautiful, I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, you start to feel like you're just like you're like that guy who works at the prison, and then you leave the prison, and you're like looking back, like I don't have to fucking hang out with you guys because I go home. All the prisoners kind of hate you. That's how Guillermo del Toro feels. Like he looks at everyone who isn't a filmmaker. He's like and looks at us like prisoners, and
Wow.
then he's the one who gets to walk off and live in this fantasy land. And but he's like, but don't you understand? I'm relatable. I'm just like you guys, and I made this movie to show you how much I care. He's
That's
got this
funny.
weird like imperial kind of like media to him. Like
Jeez.
it's really a lot to break down, and that's part of the problem.
Well,
This
that's
is
what's so
too easy to talk
frustrating
about.
is it's kind of hard to criticize, but you know that it sucks, which makes it worse.
Yeah, I think it's very like thought provoking, but that's the best thing you can say about
Yeah. Well, not
it.
not
Okay.
uh, not of itself, but when you're trying to explain why it's bad, it's thought provoking. It's kind of a big difference, right?
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why critics probably like him because it's like when they talk about him, they just go on and
It's
on.
it's
You're like,
grist for the
wow.
fucking mill, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
Gus Van Sant.
I don't know. Maybe I like him a little more just because I got this fucking spiel
I know.
statement
Yeah, you
from.
get you get a lot out of him.
Uh,
Okay, sorry.
did you hear the thing? By the way, two things about Guillermo del Toro.
What?
Did you hear about the fucking 22-minute standing ovation he got
Uh, for what?
for Pan's Labyrinth?
What? That's weird. I mean, I haven't seen Pan's Labyrinth in a minute, but
It's this
it's it's it's
Victorian
it's
like
it's
theme.
it's it's like excessive. It's not. I don't
No, the
know.
people that like that kind of movie are people that are just like they need to be dazzled and they don't they just want everything to be pretty. It's like so visual, right? They just
Yeah,
want
but
everything
it's
to be.
not. It's not. It's not actually beautiful. It's kind of grotesque and garish.
It's garish and it's sort of overwrought, right? And
Yeah, it's. How do you? That's what's so freaking frustrating. It's hard to explain what's wrong with
I
it.
don't know. Maybe people who are like visual artists, they like that kind of thing because it
That's
distracts them from
that's the thing though. That's exactly it. Art is not about a bunch of. It's not about a bunch of random bullshit that looks interesting. Like art should be expressing some underlying idea. and this doesn't. It's just
Maybe there's a sense that it acts like it's like the final stroke. Who knows?
hmm,
I think the problem with it is that it really doesn't have a message, and it's supposed to speak for itself, and that's kind of offensive to people.
yeah.
And the other thing is that did you see the video where he have like his house where it's just like statues from Pan's Labyrinth and
Uh,
Hellboy and all sorts of weird other things like that, with just like giant like monsters.
no, it's weird.
It was basically like Tim Burton level. It was like just crazy stuff everywhere, but it didn't look like a place you'd want to hang out in. It was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was like his house,
Jeez.
or it was like a studio. I don't know what it was.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, he was like, it was just monster sculptures everywhere, and it's like, if I'm trying to eat like eggs and coffee, like,
Yeah, you don't want to be looking at the pale man or whatever.
yeah, man, or like the Cyclops, or the alien with the goggles, or the
Yeah,
fish man with the goggles, or
yeah.
it's
Jeez.
it's very like like artistic in like an art student kind of way. You're like you're like in Tim Burton kind of way, but
Yeah,
like I said, the lack of message ends up being a message by itself, which
yeah,
is that's the problem. I think once you realize that the message of no message is kind of annoying,
yeah,
then you can kind of dissimulate. But if you're fine with just drawing petals and fucking goggles and underwater fish, it's okay. But then once you want anything more than that, it's like it's frustrating. Anyway,
yeah. All right.
okay, Gus Van Sant.
Oh
Here,
shoot.
okay. You know what? I'll knock him up to B because of how visually spectacular it is. Tim Burton too. They'll be up in B.
What?
Yep.
You're
Yeah,
nuts.
you have to appreciate
No, you
the
don't.
effort they put.
Screw it. I don't care. You know, this movie's a...
I'll keep him in C because maybe there is still some violation on their part. But
All right. You gotta restart screen sharing.
uh,
Yep.
right, Gus Van Sant.
Ever since Guillermo. All right, Zanti. Can you mouse over him so I can make sure it's working? Can't see your cursor.
Or
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah, that's sort of doing something. It's like really low frame rate, but whatever. Okay. Gus Van Sant made Mala Noche, Drugstore Cowboy, My Own Private Idaho, To Die For, Goodwill Hunting, Milk, Elephant, about the Columbine Massacre, Finding Forrester, Paranoid Park, Last Days, Promised Land, Even
Finding Forrester, I
Cowgirls.
think, was the movie that got Sean Connery an Academy Award. It's kind of funny.
Hmm.
He gets funny guys Academy Awards, like he got Robin Williams an Academy Award for Will Hunting. Which
Oh
is
wow.
like when you think about it, what other movie would he ever get an award for?
Yeah, really.
That was the only one.
What
So,
what about that
but
Patch Adams? I guess that's not.
I don't know. I don't know if that's award worthy.
It's not really. It's really on the boundary of like total. It's really a weird movie. It's like it dwells on the boundary of just utter lowbrow and highbrow kind of weird. Oh, funny man. All right. So what
All
do you
right.
say?
Well, I think I tried to watch Drugstore Cowboy and it was really jarring, but I understood the concept. I think it was Matt Dillon, and he's sort of
Yeah.
like a sort of drug addict that like robs pharmacies
Hmm.
in Portland, Oregon.
Hmm.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, a lot of his movies take place in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, well, he's known for being from like Portland or something.
Yeah.
He's gay,
Yep.
which is like I don't know why we use that word. I mean, that used to just mean happy. I guess if you're happy, you're gay. I don't know.
I know. It's like
The world we live in now.
give me some
Anyway,
credit here.
can't be happy without being a homo. Anyway,
Yeah.
um, his movies are good. Like I think they're probably B.
All right.
He did Good Will Hunting, Milk, I think, was a pretty well made movie. I mean, I'm not like crazy about the whole like gay rights aspect of it, but like it was a good movie for what it was.
Yeah.
It was about like a mayor guy or whatever his job was. He got killed. He
Hmm.
was the mayor. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe San
And
Francisco. Right.
yeah, and this guy's a little like the problem with him is it just seems sort of kind of up his ass a little bit. His head's up his ass. Like, he's just like his movies are about like touchy feely sort of. You know, I don't know. It's like where's the vigor? There's not a lot of vigor in this stuff. I mean, I guess Drugstore Cowboy, right?
Yeah.
And I haven't seen everything, so who knows? I give him a B just because I can see the intelligence. I just don't know how consistent he is.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, okay. Up next, Hayao Miyazaki. Okay, well, this is the opposite of Del Toro. I think is what you're getting at.
Yeah.
'Cause this guy is really like he has meaningful stories,
Yeah.
and yet they're kind of spectacular and
Yeah, no,
marvelous.
the visual beauty is not just it's either it's not there for its own sake or even when it is there for its own sake, it's somehow it's somehow deep. Like it's expressing something very like small and true and important or something. Um
Yeah, well, I think the stories are just like they make sense.
yeah,
They're sort of grounded in reality, despite having so many violations on reality. You kind of understand the metaphor.
yeah.
Whereas with Del Toro, it's like, what the fuck is the metaphor? I don't. You never
Yeah.
understand the fucking
Yeah.
metaphor.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. They're about something beyond what you can see, I guess.
The problem with Del Toro is he abuses metaphors to the point where they just sort of like become monsters of themselves.
Hmm.
But with Miyazaki, it's very clear what the metaphors are. It's very fine.
Yeah.
Um, and I think he's made enough films that I watch. He's an A for me.
Yeah, he's an A.
He's not an S because his movies are kind of like kid movies, and
Yeah.
they kind of they kind of replicate the same theme over and over. The stories kind of blur together sometimes, but
Yeah.
uh, great animation, art, design is fabulous.
Yeah.
And it's got fantastic sort of voiceover stuff, and
Hmm.
the music is always you know marvelous. The whole thing's wondrous, right?
Yeah. It's very beautiful.
Elegant, gracious,
Hmm.
fantastic.
All
Okay,
right.
whatever. Let's just
Hiro Kazu.
we had to say that about him, and now we can talk about normal people again who do actual movies, not animation. Sorry.
Great. Yeah. No one, you don't know this guy. I think he did Nobody Knows, Still Walking, and After the Storm. He won the jury prize at Cannes
Is it
for
after the
like,
storm? Is
yeah,
it after the storm?
yeah. Believe it or
Ooh,
not,
that's like S, dude. Okay,
you. Are you joking?
I'm joking.
Okay, yeah.
Let's put him. I don't know
Yeah, he's
anything.
in the don't know bucket. Sorry, I,
I don't know who this guy
I
is.
don't know what the fuck that is.
I'm
I like
intrigued.
he's like won the Palme d'Or 3 times or something. No, no, he just won it once, but still, once is enough. Ingmar Bergman.
Okay, I probably this guy's cool. He's very
Yeah,
interesting. Um,
yeah. Seventh Seal, Persona, Wild
I always confused.
Strawberries.
I always kind of confuse it with Ingrid Bergman.
Yeah, so do I.
Oh, you and everyone else. I mean, I think we all do.
It's pretty weird. I think I've only seen the Seventh Seal, actually.
Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah. I think he's like a B. I don't know.
Yeah, he's
It's
a B. He's at because I don't know. I don't know.
he's got a very cohesive style, but then at the same time, it is a monotonous kind of style,
Yeah.
and it's cool, but it's only cool because it's black and white. It's in the snow. You know, not really impossible to do, just to replicate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
He did pioneer that, I think, somehow. So, I mean, if there's anyone you can like copy, just if you want to make a bullshit art film and you want it to look good, this guy's like an easy one to copy because he just sort of, you know.
Yeah.
I have his autobiography.
Bless you.
I have his autobiography. I gave my dad a copy for his birthday.
Hmm.
for Christmas. His
Well,
birthday's in December. His birthday's in December, so I confuse him.
yeah,
And he said he liked kind of reading it. I don't know how much he read, probably not a ton, but
that's
he
interesting.
like his writing style is very like minimized and like quiet and a little childlike and sort of joyful. It's like
Hmm.
he's kind of sentimental the way he writes,
Hmm.
like overly so a little, but it also kind of makes you wonder about him because he's sort of enigmatic director.
Hmm.
Um, and he has a weird connection to like some Soviet. He's from like a Soviet family,
Oh, really?
Russian. Yeah, and he has some weird connection to like an architect. It was like one of the premier architects in Russia or something. So he has like his like dad or granddad was like really important.
Hmm.
All right, I gotta clear. I'm gonna go to the bathroom because I have to
All
clear
right,
up
I
some
gotta go too, so I'm gonna pause it. I'll let you know when I restart it. Now,
minutes.
when we're back. Boom.
One come all.
Yes.
The Cinephiles.
Yes.
Uh, Lollapalooza. What do you call it?
What?
Grand Wazoo. Honestly.
What's a Grand Wazoo?
That's beats me. Anyway, Isao Takahita.
He
Hmm.
is he is another. He's like closely associated with Studio Ghibli and Hayao Miyazaki. Oh, he
What?
directed. He did Grave of the Fireflies. Only yesterday, Pom Poko and My Neighbor the Yamadas. My Neighbors the Yamadas. The Tale of the Princess Kaguya, which was nominated for an Oscar. So he seems like a low key Miyazaki type, which kind of odd that no one knows who this
Is it
movie is.
animated or is it live
Yeah,
action?
it's all animated.
Okay, well I'll put him in. Do not know.
Yeah,
Okay. What about the next guy? Elaine Resnais.
Alain
Resnais.
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 Oh, French people.
Oh, I would. Well, hey, I wouldn't call the French people. Okay.
Yeah, let's slow down.
Careful.
Hiroshima Mon Amour. Last year at Marienbad. I think I've heard of that one.
Okay,
Muriel.
this guy's a. This, I can already tell this guy's. I'm not gonna know any of it.
He's just a pretentious douche, honestly.
Man, you really don't like the French.
Yeah,
You
well,
really, you.
they really suck. I'm sorry that they suck so much. you know, I'd like them
I
if they
just don't
weren't
think.
so terrible.
I just don't think you understand like
I don't.
that. They're I just don't think you understand that they're like a little different. They're a special case. All right, who's next?
That's great. Jafar Panahi. He's
You gotta be kidding me. No, who do we have to even look this guy up? What did he do?
the, the white balloon. Uh, why is that funny? It's just it like is, but I don't know why.
He's one of the best directors of all time.
Yeah.
He's like a
The
shoot. He's like the
uh,
most random.
the mirror, the circle.
No,
Um,
no, stop. Let's just stop. I can't, I'm not gonna tolerate it.
oh, this is not a film. That's interesting.
No, it's not. Just stop. That sounds like his career. This is not a career. Like,
Oh,
okay, up
taxi.
next.
Oh wait, taxi. Flower. Closed curtain.
You're embarrassing everyone, including him. Maybe especially him.
Yeah,
Okay,
especially him. All right, moving on. James
James
Cameron.
Cameron.
Boom.
Oh, at least we know a guy with two first names. Okay,
It's gotta be
he's the
good.
only director besides Ang Lee. It seems like he has two first names.
And Ang we don't even know. That's conjecture.
Yeah.
I guess Lee Harvey Oswald. Different Lee. All right, this
Fritz
man.
Lang is good. Okay,
Lang,
George Lucas. Actually, George Lucas does have two first names.
pretty much, yeah,
And
definitely,
Woody Allen too.
definitely. But Woody Allen's a pen name to disguise name. Okay, Terminator.
Wait, you think George Lucas? That's not a pen name.
No,
His
that's
real name was Yasmiras Rosenblatt. And George Lucas was, just a solid American, relatable
Yeah.
stage name.
Yeah, no, his name was Gustavo.
For his jazz trumpeter career back in the swing days. Okay, anyway,
That's
no
great.
more whimsicals.
All right,
Musicals.
Terminator. What?
I'm going to tell you right now that I do not like James Cameron.
Damn. I like Terminator.
Just the first one, yeah, I mean that's like my least favorite one.
Really? You like
Well,
Terminator 2 better?
yeah, I like Terminator 2 better. Yeah.
Well, look, Terminator 2 is a better action movie, but Terminator 1 is more like hard boiled and badass and dark and slick and gritty.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, but for a guy who peaks at Terminator, he's not the best director. I mean, maybe George Lucas has a similar problem.
I really like
So
Terminator, though. I know what you mean. Aliens is kind of forgettable, strangely enough.
that one was not good. Yeah.
I've never seen Titanic, actually. Tragic, but I bet
That one
it's.
is good. That was his. That was the chick Terminator.
Yeah, it's
He
funny.
trying to stab dudes in the back with that because he was like, he made Terminator, he did Aliens, and then he did Titanic. Like, what? You just a whole about face, and
Yeah, that's funny.
I was doing Avatar.
Yeah,
It was a kid's
Avatar's
movie.
Avatar's pretty terrible. Um, and if we're being honest,
Yeah.
they're like remarkably forgettable. Like I've read these articles online where it's like, why does no one like these movies were so big, but no one remembers anything about them. They're uniquely sort of bland. Uh, but we all remember Terminator and T2, and we all
Yeah, we
remember.
actually Terminator is kind of crazy that this guy
You know,
has so much substance in his first movie, and everything else is like bland and overblown and highfalutin. Yeah, this guy is like
you want
this guy's kind of gross.
you want
I
to
don't
call him
know.
up?
He's really lopsided. His career is like
Yeah, you want
just
to
it didn't he just didn't age well. I guess I don't know.
yeah you want to call it a B or a C?
I'll give him a C.
All right, harsh but
He's
C.
like he has the same problem Guillermo del Toro has, except Guillermo del Toro is at least like consistent.
He's not on the same level as Del Toro. I don't think. Terminator 1 and 2 are actually good movies. I don't know. I don't know if Guillermo
He
del
didn't do
Toro.
Terminator. He didn't do. Did he do Terminator 2?
Uh, yes, directed by him, co-written by him.
Okay. Okay, I'll put him in B.
All right, I'm satisfied.
I really. I guess Titanic was pretty fucking good.
Hmm.
So yeah, okay, B. So gross. No, I'm putting him in C. Fuck this shit. Yeah. Those movies do not make up for how bad Avatar is.
Was and continues to be.
Avatar.
Yeah.
Okay, let's Jean-Luc Godard.
All right. Much like Truffaut in my book, but I don't know much about
He's
him.
better. He's better than Truffaut
Okay.
because he was very like laissez-faire, lackadaisical, cavalier, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Um, he sort of broke. He informalized cinema.
Hmm.
That was his whole thing. I think he's A.
Okay.
It's not like it's not boring, but it's like at least the subject matter's like compelling.
Okay. It's fair.
They don't have Melville here or whatever his name is.
Um. Who?
Melville. They don't have a lot of people. Let's be real. But
Yeah.
okay, up next, Jim Jarmusch. What did he do?
Jim Jarmusch. Uh. Jeez. Never heard any of these. Um. Stranger Than Paradise. Down by Law. Mystery Train. Dead Man. Ghost Dog. The Way of the Samurai. Coffee and Cigarettes. Broken Flowers. Only Lovers Left Alive. Patterson. I saw Patterson. I saw part of Patterson. And The Dead Don't Die. Um. That's about it. Pretty much.
Patterson, go through that again because I know he's done something. I'm seeing.
Um. Stranger Than Paradise, Down by Law, Mystery Train, Dead Man, Ghost Dog: The Way of the Samurai, That sounds interesting. Coffee and Cigarettes, Broken Flowers, Only Lovers Left Alive, Patterson, and The Dead Don't Die. Stranger Than
Seems like they.
Paradise was added to
I
the
never,
National Film Registry. Huh.
wow, I feel like why have I not seen these? I feel like I've seen all of them and yet never seen them. I don't know, it's so
I
weird.
know they feel like they're in your. I think they're in your like bucket. They're right up your alley.
And they might be. Okay, I'll give him a tentative B.
Although I got bored of Patterson, I couldn't get through it.
What was that about?
It was about a poet played by Adam Driver, who was also a bus driver, who was like, I don't know, just the poems weren't very good. That's the. I mean, I don't want to preempt our other podcast, but the thing about Factotum, I really didn't want to like it, and I kind of didn't. But the Bukowski stuff that is sprinkled throughout the film
It's
is
good.
just it's so interesting that it redeems everything. Anyway, so I
You think Jim Jarmusch is better than James Cameron or what?
yeah, probably just because he's more sincere, you know.
James Cameron. James Cameron is like the douchey white version of Guillermo del Toro.
I wouldn't go that far.
You don't think that they're made for each other?
No, I actually don't. I think Guillermo del Toro is a full. He's a full like story below James Cameron. Like he's in the basement. James Cameron is in the main floor. Um, and that's just because Terminator is iconic. You know, who cares if he made his dumb little Smurf movies that no one cares about later? Like I don't really care. Like I mean, I watched them. And they were boring, but they were.
But you think? Do you think he's like the adult George Lucas?
Cameron?
Yeah.
No, because the adult George Lucas would be like a god of cinema or something. Um, George Lucas's like only flaw is that his movies are for kids, basically. Like but that's also his greatest benefit. It's like an adult George Lucas is almost like a contradiction in terms.
Coppola is the adult George Lucas.
Yeah, no, you're right. Coppola is the adult George Lucas. Absolutely, I take it back. James Cameron is like the teenage George Lucas, but not even. They're not really similar. They're not really. People think they're similar, but they're kind of nothing. They have sort of.
No, no, that was genius. No, he's like the preteen
Uh,
12-year-old George Lucas. You're so right.
uh,
That was the
yeah.
smartest thing you've ever said.
Listen.
Okay,
All
I'm
right.
putting
All
I'm putting
right.
him in B.
It
I'm
was
putting him in
it
B.
was a shot in the dark which hit nothing. Not even the wall somehow. Um.
He got upgraded because he said that. So,
Okay. Great.
well done. Okay,
So
up next, one of my favorites, John Carpenter.
another. I feel like these guys in the '80s who made like this pop schlock um, are kind of underrated. Like they were actually really amazingly.
I
I
think John Carpenter is underrated. He's
Nah,
just so
he is. I think there's an artistry to his
appropriately famous.
movies, but people think he's just like a they think he's a dumb action guy. But
That's
they're so formally precise. Like they're so formally
John Carpenter. I see what you're saying.
you
Like
know.
he doesn't appeal to like the synesthetes or whatever, the
No,
aesthete.
well, they don't think he's artistic, but there are quote art house guys who don't
They're way
have
worse.
their
They're way worse.
shit. Yeah, they don't have their shit nailed down anyway near this like quote B movie dude with a
Did he like?
boring, forgettable name.
Did you know he like composes his own music?
So yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that. That's incredible. He's very like down low. He's not who you'd expect, I think. Although I guess he got some award at Cannes, so maybe he is good. Um, yeah, I think he's great. I almost give him. I would give him an A.
I'll give yeah. Well, yeah, you have to. It's John
Yeah,
Carpenter.
maybe he doesn't have those like sublime moments that you remember for the rest of your life, but
But the thing about no, I mean, you see,
he makes damn good movies, right? Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I mean, everything he's made that I've seen has been like pretty watchable. The Thing is my favorite. Big Trouble in Little China is fun. It's a riot, you know. What do they call it? I saw this one from the Station House one where they attack like a police station
Oh,
that's abandoned.
Assault on Precinct 13.
Our one was good. What name them off so I can
Okay,
remember?
okay. Dark Star. I saw it years ago, and I thought it was. I thought
That one was kind of odd, but
it's
it's
odd, but
not
it's fun. Yeah.
it's not
Um,
super stupid.
yeah. Assault on Precinct 13, The Thing, Christine, Big Trouble in Little China, Prince of Darkness, They
I
Live.
for I tried to watch I think Prince of Darkness or whatever.
Oh, Halloween, The Fog, Escape from New York, and Starman.
Escape from New York is fun is good. What about Escape from L.A.? Did they have that one?
Yeah, yeah, that's by him
That
as
one's
well.
also kind of good. I like that one.
They Live
Probably
is
like that one more.
They Live is very stark and solid. I've never seen Escape from LA, but I just love the concept of Escape from New York is so goofy and off the wall and insane and demented and funny. But they play it straight, which I respect even more. You know, like it's not a comedy movie,
I
but
don't
the
get it, man.
idea.
I don't know. I think it's because he's a carpenter. I don't really.
Yeah, he sees things in very simple terms. Like we should build a box around this place. It's dangerous. Yeah.
Okay, he's an A.
Yeah, he's an A.
Did you ever see the one called? I think it's Prince of Darkness, where like there's like a writer that like is so crazy that like everyone who reads his book go like they try to go on like rampages and become and like they become like zombies and they kill everyone.
That's great. No,
I
I
think that's
haven't.
Prince of Darkness.
That's
Like
awesome.
they're like funny horror. That's this whole thing. It's like horror movies, but they're funny.
Yeah, dude, they're just
I
odd,
think
but they're really well made.
that's kind of like what Get Out is like. You know, I think Get Out was like
Hmm.
really inspired by Carpenter.
Yeah.
And, you know, he composes all the music in the or like a
Jeez.
lot of the music.
Yeah, that's so impressive, honestly. I feel yeah, he's kind of underrated still, sort of.
Okay. Well, anyway, next one, the most underrated director of all time, J.J. Abrams.
JJ. Oh, you gotta restart screen sharing. Sorry.
Right, this guy is like the he's definitely like the James Cameron for like 9-year-olds. Like he's
Yeah.
like the preteen James Cameron.
No,
No, I don't know what he.
well, no, he's like a douchey version of James Cameron, which is pretty impressive because James
It's
Cameron's
hard to be douchier than James
yeah,
Cameron.
he's already a douche. So, how do you improve on perfection? Um, Regarding Henry, Forever Young, Armageddon, Cloverfield, Star Trek, and the shitty Star Wars sequels.
Wait, why is he famous? I don't understand. Like I don't
Ian,
understand why he's
honestly,
famous.
dude, he's an E. He's a fucking E.
Why
Fuck.
is he famous?
I
I
don't
don't
know. I don't.
understand.
This is because he's an ass kisser. No one
His
cares.
name just, I think his name just sounds like kind of like vaguely sophisticated and like smart.
Yeah, he sounds like
Like
a
he's
yeah.
smarmy, dude. He's like the smart. I thought he was Joss Whedon. That's why I confused him with Joss Whedon.
Yeah, easy to mix them up.
J.J. Abrams. His name has got two J's. That's why.
Yeah, it's catchy. Rolls off the tongue. All right. So, John Ford.
Uh,
I know John Ford's name is so his name is so boring and he's like the opposite of J.J. Abrams. Like you wouldn't even blink at John Ford.
well, it's
It's
a little like John Carpenter, isn't it?
yeah, it's so boring that it's almost unbelievable. Like it's like John Smith. It's like one step. It's like one step away from John
No,
Smith.
you're missing something though. It's Ford,
So it's like a
which
car.
by the way was not his real name. His real name was like John Martin Feeney.
Yeah,
He changed his name to Ford because he knew it would like have like brand value.
I'm just fascinated that like he's so old that he had to change his name because it was too Irish. Like that's pretty fucking. I don't know. I don't think anyone would care. Oh
No, no, he's good, man. This guy did Stagecoach and Liberty Valance and whatever he. This guy,
yeah, Liberty Valance was amazing.
this guy is incredible. He's an A,
Yeah, he's an A.
maybe an S, maybe an S.
I know.
I'll give
Yeah,
him an S.
may as well. He's just so he's so complete.
Now,
It's almost like you want him to
no.
be an S though, so you gotta resist the temptation. I don't know. All right.
Received 6 Academy Awards.
Hmm.
4 were for director.
Hmm.
That sounds pretty S, dude. All right. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, he did the Grapes of Wrath, which I have seen. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Great book. I don't know how he did it, honestly.
Yeah.
Stagecoach, Rio Grande, The Searchers, My Darling Clementine. This is like the best Western director.
Yeah.
Bill Green was my Valley, The
Oh
Quiet
yeah, I've
Man.
heard of that. I've heard of that movie. I really want to see it. It's about like whales. It's kind of a departure from form. Um,
Okay, so John Cassavetes.
yeah,
Have
great.
you seen anything about Cassavetes?
Edge of the City, The Dirty Dozen, Rosemary's Baby, Faces, Husbands, A Woman Under the Influence, Opening Night, Love Streams. This guy is so off my radar. Rosemary's Baby is the only one that I even, and I mixed up with The Exorcist. I have no sense of who this guy is or anything. He seems like
Oh,
kind of a
he's
sleazy
really good.
'70s type. Yeah.
He's really good. Yeah, he did Killing of a Chinese Bookie, A Woman Under the Influence. Really good. He also did, like you said.
Yeah.
Um, oh no, he acted in. He was an actor before. You're looking at his acting career.
Uh, oh yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, you're right. Those first three are acting. Everything from Shadows on. So Shadows, Faces, Husbands, Woman Under the Influence, Opening Night, Love Streams.
I haven't seen like Faces. I don't know. I've seen 2 movies. They're pretty good. I would say he's at least a B.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Again, it's like this very sleazy '70s vibe, but I kind of like that. I'm kind of intrigued by that. I kind of want to watch it. I want to watch something of his now. Anyway, all right. So, who's
AC.
next? You know what I just noticed? Everyone in our S tier list has glasses. How do you like that?
Weird. Um,
It
some of
was
them. Wait. Yeah, maybe I should start wearing glasses, dude.
you'll become an S tier director.
Okay, let's put John Cassavetes in S. Okay, we're gonna put
What?
John Carpenter in S. I don't know, dude. I can't fucking.
You're disturbed by this.
Mr. Yeah, okay. Let's
I get it. It's kind of weird. It's kind of odd. Um, hey, you have to restart screen sharing. It keeps it.
okay. So who do a Jonathan Demme? What does Jonathan Demme do?
Jonathan who?
Yeah,
Jonathan Dem. Oh, Dem.
yeah.
I bet this is gonna be like How to Train Your Dragon. Oh no, it's not. It's kind of weird. He created Caged Heat, um, a woman in prison film. Then he made Melvin and Howard, Swing Shift, Something Wild, Married to the Mob. His big one that you've heard of him in is Silence of the Lambs. Um, and then he also did Philadelphia, Rachel Getting Married.
This
Um,
guy's annoying. Yeah, this guy's like a C for me.
yeah, Silence of the Lambs was good, but he's just a guy who like made one kind of good movie, and
Well,
I don't know.
Philadelphia is kind of good, but I feel like these movies are really like moody, like overly. It's like
Yeah,
I don't know, like kind of like psychological and maudlin or what. I don't know. It's like
yeah,
they're just like they're so into their like the blues of it all, and I'm like they only have so much like compassion.
hmm.
Um, I'd say C. I think he's kind of doing like a Del Toro thing, a little with maybe a little more personality and less
Uh,
visual
I don't
aids.
know. I don't think so. I don't think
Yeah,
so.
well, I don't know.
I mean,
Philadelphia and Silence of the Lambs, dude, kind of like that.
Sounds of the Lambs. I was actually really impressed by it. Honestly, it's pretty well done. Um,
I think it was impressive because the fucking novel was really good. I think the movie was kind of like a
the movie was kind of
boring.
it was kind of held up by the quality of the source material, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, because they had so much shit about the fucking FBI and that. If I watched it recently, it was like it's so much FBI. Like, oh, we need to go back to the fucking senators, and we need to go and look at the evidence, and like,
Yeah,
the ending's really good. And
yeah,
there were like the serial killers are cool in that movie. That's why it's really good.
yeah.
It's like it's the only movie that like makes serial killers like seem like what the fuck, he's a serial killer. It was like the first movie that really did that. You know, that's why it was like the first movie where they really like highlighted serial killers.
Yeah.
Um. Okay. Jonathan Demme. I'm gonna swap these up a little. Okay. Anyway. Who we have? Jun Ho Bong. Oh, I do not like this guy.
June Ho Bong.
Bring him an F.
Bro made Parasite. Bro made Snowpiercer. Memories of
His
Murder.
movie. His movies are so stupid. I mean, what the
Yeah, Snowpiercer is pretty stupid.
putting him an F. Those are the dumbest fucking movies I've ever seen.
Parasite, really? Is it really that bad? I never seen it.
Uh, it was like just massively overrated. It was like maybe
Yeah.
twice as good as Snowpiercer. That doesn't make it like the best movie of all time. And they got like Best Picture.
Yeah, I
They're giving
know.
all the they're giving the Asian movies Best Picture the last couple of years.
Yeah,
Wh-
you're
Whatever
not
it was.
you're not wrong. Everything everywhere all at once.
Yeah, it's like excessive.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What about Alejandro Gonzalez Narritu? This guy I've never heard of. Let's just not do it.
No, no, no. He did a Birdman and he did
Did he?
yeah, and he did the Revenant. That's all I know him from. I never saw the Revenant, but I like Birdman. Birdman was really. I
Okay.
thought it was good. I thought it was good.
Okay. I'll put him in B.
Yeah, that's fair. It's like I almost can't even find a flaw in Birdman. So, but at the same time, maybe one pretty good movie is not enough. Anyway,
Okay. Well, let's.
going on. Wong Kar Wai was this guy who did that adultery movie that everyone says is the best movie of all time.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
What's it called? It's the man who
And then
wanted.
Moon for Love.
Uh, the man who wanted to kiss a woman. I mean, maybe it's insanely good. I just have no idea.
It's not. It's really slow.
It's so well regarded. It just keeps
Hey,
getting.
you can be a little bit quieter because you're kind of like yelling, and I have to
All right, all right.
stay
I'll turn.
quiet.
I'm gonna turn my mic down. Let me turn my mic down.
Don't go overboard, but just turn down like you're just.
Yeah,
I can't talk that loud right now.
that makes sense.
I'll give him. He did Chungking Express, which is fun.
Chunky.
He's like a B. He's like really good for like a Hong Kong new wave of Hong Kong cinema.
Yeah.
Okay, who else?
Can you? Is this good? Is this quieter?
No,
Should we go?
turn it up more, dude. You're overdoing it.
Okay. How about this?
Sure.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Atsushiro Otomo. Did this guy do like Akira? Why is this guy in this one? I think he did do it.
Yeah, he did Akira. He did Steam Boy, Memories, Neo Tokyo. Oh,
Okay,
he
this
did
guy's
Metropolis. I love Metropolis.
an anime version of Metropolis.
Yeah, it's really good. I love that movie
Yeah,
back in the day.
let's put him in A.
Uh, I wouldn't go that far.
So put him in B. We'll put him in B.
Yeah, we can put him in B. He's not better than
Okay,
Federico Fellini. Come on, that name still means
I'm
something
gonna
around
I'm
here.
gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna morph this a bit because the glasses thing made me realize maybe I'm just being a gimmick. David Fincher doesn't always wear glasses. Is
Well, nor does John Ford.
that true?
Well, yeah.
I don't think that's true. I think he,
John
whatever.
Ford
Anyway,
did not wear glasses all the time. I can't believe that. Yeah, here he is giving us. I mean, those are sunglasses as well. He wore glasses with an eye patch for some weird ass reason. Dude, this guy looks just like my grandpa.
let's just not. Let's just. Can we keep going? Kevin Smith.
Don't want to do the whole hullabaloo. Kevin Smith has glasses, so we know he's not gonna be. Okay, he did Clerks, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, Clerks 3, Dogma, Tusk, Mallrats, Chasing Amy. Um, I'd give it a C. I don't really care. You know.
He's not. He's a B.
All right.
Those movies are all fun.
Sure.
Uh, I mean, John. He's not like any worse than John Carpenter, in that
Oh,
sense.
come on. He's worse than John Carpenter. Give me a break.
You haven't seen any of those movies.
I've seen Clerks.
Well, he's a good director. Um. Okay. Kim
Uh,
D. Duck. Kim Key Duck.
it's like auto-generated. Kim Ki Duck. Why is so many tabs?
Let's just skip that one. We're skipping that one.
Oh, he made Pieta.
Yeah, just stop. Let's just do Krzysztof Kielowski now.
Just stop. Okay. Krzysztof Kieslowski. Uh, this is hard to spell. It's a lot of consonants there. Three colors blue, three colors red, three colors white. Short film about killing, a short film about love. Oh, he did a Decalogue, that Polish TV show, which I never watched, but which I heard is good.
Okay, I'm putting him in. And I haven't seen a lot of his work. Now let's move. Lars von Trier, someone who I have seen.
Lars von Trier.
Did you
Jeez.
ever see that one I recommended to you called not Magnolia? What was it called? Look up his movies.
Yeah, he's got Dancer in the Dark. He's got shoot, where's his full filmography
Oh,
here?
Jack died. The Jack
Yeah,
House
yeah,
Jack
yeah.
built.
The House that Jack built. I didn't get through the whole thing. I mean,
How far did you get?
I got to the second murder, and then I just sort of thought it was just too lurid, man. I don't know.
Was that the one?
It's
Which
gro-
one was the second?
it was grotesque. Where he chokes the ginger lady.
Why?
What?
Oh, he went into her building.
I
That was
just,
that was
I
that was the
just,
funniest one. He
I,
goes into her house and he has
yeah. I didn't buy it. I didn't buy his whole BS routine talking to the lady, and just found the murder very upsetting, and I didn't want my emotions to be all shuffled up without due cause. My
that was the
emotions.
funniest scene though. That was the funniest scene because
You're a psycho yourself.
okay, whatever, dude. Okay, what's the next
Well, you next director or next film?
next film in his list?
Okay. Nymphomaniac, Melancholia, Antichrist.
Melancholia. That's the one you have to see is Melancholia.
I believe it. Melancholia sounds really good, and I'm often depressed, so let's fucking do it.
Okay.
The boss of it all, Manderley,
Mhm.
the fire. I feel like all this shit is like released in Denmark and no one cares. Dogville, I've heard of that. I'm intrigued by that.
I'll give it a B. I think
Oh,
he would be
Dance from the Dark.
yeah, maybe C.
Dance from the
It's
Dark
just,
is almost maudlin. I found, you know.
I haven't seen that one.
It's such a weird movie, but it's pretty good. It's like pseudo Dogma 95 or Dogme 95 or whatever. It stars Bjork, but she's inexplicably working in like the Pacific Northwest, and we're all supposed to pretend that she's
Dogma
just.
95? What's Dogma 95?
Dogme 95 is this like pretentious film rule where you have to. Is it Dog? Oh, it was inspired by Dogme 95, where it's like this avant-garde French way of filming, or no, Danish way of filming, where you can't use exegetic music or whatever. You have to use handheld cameras. You can't use any special effects. Has to be on location. No
It's
sound
non
depart.
it's non-diegetic
It's
or
just a bunch of like pretend. It's just a bunch of rules, man. Genre movies, no genre movies. Must be 35 millimeter. Don't credit the director. No superficial action, so no murders and weapons. Um, Film has to take place here and now. It's just it's It
So
annoys
it's
me.
it's it's like a documentary. Okay,
Yeah, but like it's still a movie. That's a good way to
making
put
my
it.
nose bleed, Will.
Yeah, well, I mean, imagine me. I had to read that list and remember it. Um, but Dancer in the Dark is him being an asshole, breaking all his rules because whatever. It is kind of funny to have Bjork just living in like Eugene, Oregon, pretending to be this put upon. But she's sincere, even though her accent kind of gives her away. It's good. Anyway, who cares?
The Bjork confused. It scares me actually.
Yeah, she's a nice Landic little fairy nymph thing.
I'm Bjork. All right.
I think you have to restart the thing again. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's frustrating. Bjork. She's not Icelandic, is she? I guess she is Icelandic. What kind of fucking name is that anyway?
Right, dude. Dude, you're like rambling. Let's just keep. Let's just. We have to keep this show
All
going.
right,
All right.
I know. Get on task. Okay, Lucretia Martel.
Yeah. What did she do?
She is beloved for Zama, La Ciénaga, the Headless Woman, the Holy Girl,
Okay,
North
I don't know
Terminal,
her very
Dead
well.
King.
Stop. Just stop. Okay.
She's the Argent.
Luis Bunel.
I thought he was a writer. Uh,
Yeah, who cares? Just what did he do?
okay, an Andalusian dog. Oh, he's yeah, La Chaîne Andalou. That's what we know him for. The one where they cut that lady's eye open in the 20s. The discreet charm of the bourgeois, the young and the damned, Viridiana. So he's like the best filmmaker ever, but I've only ever heard of the one on Chaîne Andalou.
He sounds awful. He cuts the lady's eye open.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I think people
He
like
sounds
him.
terrible. Is he a
Yeah,
C, D, E, F?
give him a C.
Okay.
He's smarter than Guillermo del Toro, but he's more toxic, um,
Okay.
which takes points away. Okay, Lynn Ramsay. We need to talk about
What's your whole shit about him being toxic? I don't.
um what
Okay,
the
you're making me sound like you're like pretending to dislike it. Is it a B or a C?
well, I've never seen any of his movies, but yeah, I mean, I think that thing about the eye thing is just garish and gross. I don't think you get points for being shocking, you know. So C, keep it in C. I
Is
don't
it
know.
no, like is it Clockwork Orange? I haven't seen this movie. Is it like a Clockwork Orange or is
Uh,
it like
no, it's surrealist. It's a bunch of sort of surreal images cut together without much. I think it was written in accompaniment with Salvador Dali. Uses dream
okay,
logic.
well I guess I'll put it in C. That sounds kind of stupid.
Yeah.
All right. Lynn
Okay.
Ramsey.
We need to
Is
talk
good
about
people.
Kevin. You were never really here. Those are the only ones I think you might know. Gas.
I haven't bothered with her enough. Okay, I just
Don't know. Yeah.
I've heard of that movie. I just don't care.
Okay. Makoto Shinkai. Oh, Your Name. This guy makes romance anime movies. He makes the same romance anime every time. Suzume, Weathering with You, The
No,
Garden
no, he's,
Woods.
he's I'm not gonna pretend to know about his movies.
5 centimeters per second. I've never seen any of them, but I can just tell they're all the same. Strangely.
We can we just get to the meat of this? Trim the
Yeah, I
fat.
mean, you know, fuck it. Let's skip. Let's
No,
you
no,
know.
no, no. Who's this guy?
Jodorowsky did the Magic Mountain or the Holy Mountain. He did a version of Dune, I guess. He did El Topo, which I thought
Okay,
that
let's
was the
let's
whole.
just Topo. Okay, we'll just not. Let's not. You're like indulging in all these like weird like he cuts the eye open and he did El Topo. I'm like
Look, I was saying that because I'd mixed up El Topo with the Magic Mountain, which I saw,
oh
which was bold for its time, or whatever. But
was that like Fritz Lang who did that?
no, the Magic Mountain was also by. I confused two of the movies of the same guy. All right, Scorsese, the king to some, the
Well, who
pop.
did who did the Magic Mountain though?
That was Jodorowsky too. Jodorowsky did both El Topo and the Magic Mountain. But I thought El Topo was just like the Mexican translation of the Magic Mountain or some shit. But they're actually different.
Was it an adaptation of the novel?
The novel. Oh, by Thomas Mann or whatever.
On. Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was totally. It was just different. It was just.
Oh, that's the
It's a
same thing. Okay.
psychic '70s psychedelic quest tour.
That's so weird. Okay, wait, this is like
Yeah.
Martin
Fuck. Fuck
Scorsese.
it. Fuck it. Move on. Okay.
Martin Scorsese. Scorsese.
Scorsese.
Scorsese. Scorsese. Okay. Well, this guy's S because he has glasses, so yeah, it'd be funny.
Yeah.
He has to be an S.
Yeah.
No, I mean you can say a lot about his films. Or said earlier you didn't like his films.
I don't.
I I think Taxi Driver is really fucking good.
Hmm.
I think Raging Bull's like kind of okay. Wasn't crazy about it. Um, didn't really get the whole. I didn't really get the whole arc for the Jake LaMotta character. Uh, Casino is fun. I love Casino. Goodfellas is iconic. Very good film.
Yeah.
Um, Cape Fear is amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta love Cape Fear. It's a remake, but it's a really good one. After Hours is a beautifully done sort of like dark comedy.
Hmm.
Um, King of Comedy is kind of fun. Uh, New York's kind of fun. Mean Streets is a hoot. I mean, Mean Streets is kind of crazy. It's a wild film.
Hmm.
One of his earliest films. I mean,
Hmm.
it's not the earliest. He did a documentary on his like parents that was kind of clever. Last Temptation of Christ I haven't like explored in and out, but I can tell it's got some good scenes.
Yeah.
Um, like the one with David Bowie's Pontius Pilate.
That's pretty. That's great. That's interesting. I respect that.
What else did he do? He did. What did he do in the '90s? Where? Because I'm blanking on something.
Sick.
Gangs
Uh.
of New York is also good.
All right. Here I gotta pause this for a second. We're not done with Scorsese, but I just gotta do something. Just a second. Now. Okay.
All right, who do we just? Martin Scorsese. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's done like we. What was the other movie he did in the '90s?
Let me pull it up.
He's done like at least 10 movies that are like good. Which is probably more than everyone on this list. Maybe not Woody Allen.
Yeah. Goodfellas. Did you already talk about
Maybe not
Goodfellas?
Coen Brothers.
Yeah. All right.
I did.
Okay. Yeah. Casino.
Oh, in the '90s. Yeah, keep going. I think that is '90s over there.
Yeah, that was '90s. The only ones I've
Late
seen
'90s.
95. Goodfellas was 90. Casino was 95. I think that's it for the '90s for him. King of Comedy was 82. Um, let's see what he's done.
He's not okay. So he's made like 10 movies that are like really good,
Hmm.
and then he's probably made some ones that are just sort of stinkers, or just less, underrated or less than optimal. Um,
Hmm.
has to be S. I think it's so obvious that he's one of the best filmmakers in the 20th century and even the 21st century.
Hmm.
Um, The Departed. You never seen the Departed?
No, I haven't.
No, you'd like that one. That one's really good.
Okay.
Um,
He did Hugo.
yeah, I never saw that one. I'm sure it's okay. I never saw it.
Yeah.
Okay, up next is Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson I like. But what has he actually directed?
A lot of good stuff.
See, we were down on what's his name, Clint Eastwood, but yeah, he did Braveheart, Lethal Weapon, Mad Max, Hacksaw Ridge. Um,
Yeah, he's a way better director than Clint Eastwood, I think.
Interesting.
Um,
I
I mean,
think.
Clint Eastwood is for like all the movies he's made. It's like none of them are really like
Yeah. Okay. He did The Man Without a Face, whatever the hell that is.
punch at their. They don't really punch at their weight. Um,
Braveheart, The Passion of the Christ, Apocalypto, and Hacksaw Ridge. I've only seen The Passion and some of Braveheart, but
oh
you
my
know,
gosh, dude, what is wrong with you?
I don't know. You're the one who said you've seen too many movies. Maybe I haven't. I haven't seen enough. Between the two of us, we've seen a normal amount.
Passion of the Christ, good. Braveheart's good. Apocalypse is good. Patriot. Did he direct the Patriot?
Not that I can see. No, I don't think so. No.
Okay. Well, that movie wasn't that good. So maybe that says something. He was the late main character in it.
He avoided. Yeah.
Mad Max, Lethal Weapon. Those are all pretty good. I'll give him an A for directing. Hacksaw Ridge, it was a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
Um, what was the last movie he directed?
Hacksaw Ridge is the most recent.
Yeah, he doesn't do that many these days, but
Yeah. Well, he's only done like five ever.
really?
Yep.
Okay.
He's only ever directed 5 movies.
Funny. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect it.
Fuck, I'll put him in S. I think all those movies are fucking killer.
Nice. Okay.
He's the first one in S without glasses.
Nice.
Good.
That's why he did it. ADD bastard.
Michael Bay.
Michael
Let's do Michael.
Bay. I don't give a shit. Put him in E. I don't care.
No, let's see what his movies are.
It's gonna be just
Let's see what it is.
Transformers. Um, he did Armageddon, Pearl Harbor. Uh, filmography: Bad Boys, The Rock, Armageddon, Pearl Harbor, Bad Boys 2, The Island. He's a simpleton.
Just tell me the list.
Transformers, three Transformers movies. Pain and Gain, Transformers again. 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi, Transformers, the Last Night with a K. Six Underground and Ambulance.
I'll give him a B.
Oh, all right.
I think those movies are good. I just think
Yeah.
they're like good versions of like bad things. They are good.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point.
Okay, Michael Haneke. Haneke.
Michael Haneke.
This guy is a guy who's like known for doing like those rules you're talking about where you don't break the you don't
Dogma.
everything
Dogma, yeah.
dogma. What? How do you say this?
It's like Dogma with an E.
Dogma.
Because
What the fuck?
it dogs you. Wait, is it Dogma? Yeah.
Why is it called this? Because the movie was called Dogma.
It's. Why is it called that? I don't fucking know.
Dogma. Anyway.
Anyway. He did The Seventh Continent. Oh, he's Austrian, so we know it's going to be. Oh, he did Funny Games. That
I
movie
never
where
saw that. I know that's a good one. I just never saw it.
he did The Piano
It's creepy.
Teacher, which is pretty.
It's so
Pretty.
creepy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this guy's probably like a C. Let's get over with.
Yeah.
Milos Forman.
Milos Forman. All right. Milos Forman. He did One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Amadeus, Man on the Moon, The Peel vs. Larry Flint, Hair, Loves of a Blonde.
This guy's good. This guy's really good. I forgot about this dude.
Yeah.
This guy's probably an A for me.
Ragtime. The People
Yeah,
vs.
he's
Larry
probably an
Flint. Black
He's an
Peter.
A. I can
Valmont.
already tell.
Goya's
Anyway,
Ghosts. That's it.
Michelangelo Antonioni.
I only saw part of one of his movies, and then I got bored.
Amadeus alone puts you an A for me, but People
Yeah.
vs. Larry Flint is right here is a good movie, and I'm gonna watch it.
Hmm.
Like A worthy, and then the other ones you mentioned are, from what I can remember, pretty good. So Milos Forman's a good director.
All right.
Kind of weird name, but definitely good. Definitely substantial.
So Antonioni did La Ventura, which I've seen part of. La Notte, L'Eclipse, Blow Up.
Yeah, I never really got this guy. Like I
Yeah.
don't. It's like pornographic. I don't get it.
Don't know. I mean, I think it looks beautiful, but it's pretty ponderous and slow and boring and whatever.
I'm gonna put him in C.
Kind of lacks a sense of humor, honestly.
Yeah.
Which is damning to some. Shyamalan, M Night Shyamalan,
Okay, this guy's annoying.
Praying with Anger, Wide
He's
Awake.
he's like a D.
Yeah.
He's a D. He's like Ang Lee level.
Okay. Fair enough. Um. Okay. Going on. I don't know nothing about him. I don't really care. What's next?
I'm actually gonna put Louis Buñuel in D because I think he's probably really terrible.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
I think
cool.
you're right. Nicholas Refn, Winding Refn, such a weird ass name.
What did he do?
He did Drive, Neon Demon Pusher, Only God Forgives, Copenhagen Cowboy, Bronson, Valhalla Rising. What a strange little man. I like Drive. Um,
Drive?
Too Old to Die Young. Never heard of
Which
that.
one's Drive again?
It's a Ryan Gosling thing where he drives around doing stuff for people.
Dude, what the fuck, dude? This guy's like an F.
Fair enough. Whatever. Okay, moving on. Orson Welles, known for Citizen Kane.
This guy's fucking S, dude.
Good.
Everything he's done has been just like way too interesting for his own good. S. Okay.
You got your head screwed on straight there, boy. Okay, what's next? Nuri Bilge.
Build a one.
All
Very
right.
bilge.
Just
This guy seems like he just had such a weird name. He had to be a director. Well, my parents were fucking methadone addicts.
he's Turkish. The Small Town, Clouds of May, Distant Climates, Three Monkeys. That's a standout, interesting title. Once Upon a Time in Anatolia, Winter Sleep, The Wild Pear Tree,
You
About
don't think
Dry
his name is
Grasses.
Bilge? You don't think his name is really just Bilge? I think it's a fake name. Yeah, well, I'm
No,
gonna say don't
it's like Bilge. It's like you said at first. He's Turkish. Come on,
say
Bilge.
one though. Okay, whatever.
I know Ceylon sounds like not the Far East. Okay,
Okay, now we're gonna go to Alexander Pavlichenko.
Dovzhenko. I'm even falling asleep. Earth, Svenigora, Arsenal, Scores, The Enchanted Desna, Loves Berries. He was a Ukrainian and Soviet early important filmmaker, along with Eisenstein, Giga Vertov, and
Okay, I don't know. It's
Vezvolod.
worked out well. I don't know it's worked
I
out
don't
well.
know
It's
either.
just
All right, finally someone I actually know, and like, dare I say S?
yeah, he's S.
He's S. It's not what you'd expect. Doesn't.
He tries a little too hard to be smart, but he's S.
Yeah, but not always. I don't know. Whatever. Um.
I'm gonna remove the Cohen brothers and put them in A.
Yeah, it's fair enough. S.
I'm gonna I'm gonna remove Coppola, put him in A.
What? No.
Yeah.
Take someone else out. Shit.
I'm gonna,
Take out Woody Allen. What has Woody Allen ever made anything really great? Like really? I guess Annie Hall was pretty amazing.
have you
But
seen A Midnight in Paris?
yeah, I did. It's pretty good, I suppose. But I haven't seen it in a while. Just don't take
I mean,
Coppola.
to be fair, a lot of his stuff is kind of like
It's
it's like
just
stand-up comedy jokes that
yeah,
are like told
it's
like
mechanical and it's sloppy.
it's definitely mechanical.
Just don't do Coppola.
Uh,
Come on. I was so into him being in the S land.
all right, put it back.
All right,
Woody Allen in A.
all right.
Uh, I think Woody Allen's got. I'll keep him in S for now. All right, Pawlikowski. Hey, you can't make these people up, dude. What's his?
I wonder if he's Polish.
He's Polish.
Nah, I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
Last Resort, Summer of Love, Ida, Cold War. For Cold War, okay, we don't know him. I
Stop.
don't think we don't know
Stop. Okay. Pedro Almodovar. This guy's more famous.
Almodovar.
I know Tarantino was like a big fan of this dude.
He did Parallel
He,
Mothers, Voltaire, Pain and Glory, Strange Way of Life. All about my mother. The skid I live in. Women on the verge of a nervous breakdown.
I don't really know him. I
Peter
pretend.
Jackson.
Here, Jackson.
I don't know who that is. Is
He
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 is
he
he an
in this.
S? Is it too nerdy to call him an S? Is he just an A? Like
He does. He has
Lord of the Rings is pretty good, you know.
King Kong, Lord of the
He did the World
Rings.
War One documentary.
It's a weird one. It's almost like it's hard to really tell.
I get
He did a movie called The Lovely Bones,
yeah.
and it wasn't like amazing.
Yeah.
It was about like his version of Willow, I guess. He's sort
Yeah.
of like George Lucas, isn't he? He's
Yeah.
exactly like
He
George Lucas.
he's way more like George Lucas than James Cameron. It sounds weird to put him in S, but he's it's
He
not a
told John.
it's not a small thing to do what he did. I don't think. I think it's easy to just like act like it's just bullshit. But I don't think it is.
Okay, well, he's an S.
And he doesn't have
Okay.
glasses, so he's not rocking the boat.
Pier Paolo Pasolini.
Pier Paolo.
I think this guy's probably pretty good. I think Pedro Almodovar. I go ahead and put these guys in like B. Just these guys that like Powell Paulinski. This guy's probably B. I can just tell.
Okay. Yeah, I
This
know.
Alexander Dovzhenko is probably B. You know,
Yeah.
it just is what it is.
This guy did La Dolce Vita.
Pasolini is also like a B. Let's just
Oh wait, no.
Antonioni. Okay, fuck it. Put Antonioni in B. Michael Haneke B. Lars von Trier B.
Look at you
Jonathan Demme
go.
B. All right. Dario Argento B. That's what Truffaut B. Aspart Noé B. Everyone else can say this. Cool. Berlucci is B too.
All right. All right,
Uh,
Tarantino. Or did we do
okay.
Pasolini? Okay.
Another guy with no glasses. S. It seems like the people that are like almost the best have glasses, and the people that are the very best don't.
I don't know. I'd give him an A.
Fuck you. He's S.
Uh,
That's bullshit.
See that reflects the vulgarity. That comes from a lifetime spent watching Tarantino flicks rather than true art.
Cheap, spilt popcorn and sticky floor theaters, lonely nights, nothing to do but watch a Tarantino bender. A rat in a cage. Fucking rat shaking in the fucking dog kennel. Kennel. Kennel, kennel, kennel. Okay, anyway. Yeah, well,
The penal kennel.
I mean, he's definitely like a maximalist. Like, he's just like, everything has to be like pitch perfect and over the top, and like, it only makes a certain number of movies because he doesn't want the quality to be diminished. But he's a lot better than fucking
Yeah.
like everyone in A. There's no one in A I think is better. Maybe Kurosawa, kind of. Maybe Coen Brothers, sort of. I don't know.
Yeah. I think.
No. He's
Yeah.
better than A.
Yeah. Well, shit. I don't know. I never really liked his movies, but I guess he's still pretty good.
Man, you suck. You're the wrong person for this list. The only reason you're
No,
good at this,
I give variety. I give variety.
you know, the only
You
reason
give the
you're good
textbook
is because
Scorsese, Tarantino.
you are willing to Wikipedia search the weirdest fucking people. You seem
Yeah.
to know somebody.
Faja.
Now we have Rainier Werner Fassbender. Fassbinder. Okay, this guy sounds like someone who's not going to get high marks.
Love is colder than death. The Merchant of Four Seasons. Oh, Ali, Fear Eats the Soul. I've heard of that.
Man, this guy is like a fucking
Des-
homosexual art
Despair. Lily Marlene. Lola. The Marriage of Maria Braun.
Wow, this guy's really, really out there. Okay, well,
The
good for
Bitter
him.
Tears of Petra von Kant. Lesbian
He's
chamber
like
drama.
he's literally sounds like Renee Maria Milka.
Satan's
He's Wilka.
Brew. This is just that like intense degeneracy of like 70s post-war Germany.
This guy sounds awesome, dude. I'm gonna give him a B.
Sure.
I'm already sold. Or Richard Linklater.
Link
A.
later.
Let's see what movies they actually do, because he might only make like 4 movies.
He's always like doing this kind of smirking face. Slacker, Dazed and Confused, Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, Before Midnight. I just like those titles.
He's A, dude. Everything he's done is good.
School of
He's
Rock,
sorry, he's F. I mean, he's S.
Waking Life, A Scanner Darkly, Apollo 10 and a half,
He's S.
Boyhood.
I've liked everything he's done.
Okay, all right, good
His
stuff.
F.
I gotta see these before films. Something
Those are
poignant to
good.
me.
Robert Bresson. This guy's known for being like a dogma kind of guy.
Yeah,
Uh,
insufferable, pretentious asshat.
what?
I'll.
Stop saying that. He's just really. He like savors every fucking moment like a cigarette that never is in slow motion. You know, it's like
All right. I'm sold. I'm sold.
it's called like minimalism or something. I don't know what they have a word for it.
Okay.
Bresonianism.
Okay. His works are Man Escaped, Pickpocket, and Al Hazard Balthazar, which is the famous one that follows a donkey as it wanders around getting abused or something. Mouchette L'Argent.
Give
He
him a
is
C.
he is the
Give him a
French
C.
cinema, as Dostoevsky is the Russian novel, and Mozart is German music.
I give him a.
That's Godard talking. So you know
He is the French novel.
he is the French cinema. He himself
Okay, well,
embodies it.
ugh, fucking horrifying. Okay, I'll give him a C. I'll give him a B because Godard's like sucking his dick. All right. Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott.
What do you think of Ridley Scott?
Um, oh yeah, I guess Blade Runner and Alien. That's enough for me.
Just another Michael Bay. Just
No,
another Michael Bay
no,
copycat.
I think he's at the same level of James Cameron.
Fuck you. He's S. He's totally S.
Actually, yeah, Blade Runner puts him in S. And Alien.
You haven't even
Gladiator
seen
is
like
not that good. Sorry,
it is good. And
it's good, but
have
it's
you
not
seen
that good. Thelma and
have you
Louise.
seen
That's
Kingdom
fucking
of
crazy.
Heaven? Have you seen
No, but
Black
I don't.
Widow? Have you seen
Black Hawk Down.
Gods and Exodus, Gods and Kings? Have you seen
No,
Robin Hood?
nope.
Have you seen? They're all good.
All right,
They're all good.
all
Not
right.
like great. Have you seen
GI Jane.
Doing the Pole? Oh, that one I don't know about that one, but
I guess. No, whatever. Where's David
he
Lean?
did.
Where's David Lean, man? He should be on this list.
He did. He did Conquista 1492 or whatever. 1493 maybe it was called.
Did he? I don't see it on here.
He
Oh
did
yeah.
House of Gucci, which I really liked. He did the duel, the last duel, which I liked.
Yeah.
What else did he do? He did something else too.
All right. He's S minus.
What else did he do?
Um. Let me see. Filmography. Gladiator 2 is coming up. Napoleon, House of Gucci, Last Duel, All the Money in the World. Alien Covenant, The Martian, Exodus, The Counselor, Prometheus,
Martian was good.
Body of Lies, American Gangster, A Good
American
Year.
Gangster was really good.
This guy loves Russell Crowe. Kingdom of Heaven, and who wouldn't? Matchstick Men, Black Hawk Down, Hannibal,
Black Hawk Down was really good. Hannibal was good. You're
Gladiator, G.I. Jane, White Squall, Black Rain, Someone to Watch Over Me, Legend, Blade Runner, Alien, and The Duelists.
and the Duelist was also really good. That was his first movie. Yeah, you're fucking a fool, dude. This guy is the best director
Oh,
ever.
that's
You're
crazy.
so
You're
yeah.
nuts.
You're out of it, man. You're out of it. Okay, Alfonso Cuarón. Okay, now do him because
You're
he's also kind of
confounding
good.
silver with gold. Alfonso Cuarón. He did
Founding soul.
Roma, Gravity, Children of Men, Y tu mamá también, Harry Potter, and The Prisoner of Azkaban. I really like Children of Men, and Gravity was really good too. I haven't seen Roma though.
Probably like eat to Mama Tambien also.
Damn, yeah, you got me. Hit
You
me.
know what that's about?
Uh, this is about these boys who I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. You don't know. I'll give him a B. I'll give him a B. I mean, he's definitely
It's fair.
he's a worthwhile director. His stuff is a lot of like, the world is falling apart. but it's not because of how. Look at the beauty. Look at the view. Oh, but the world. Oh, no, yes. I don't care.
That's really funny.
Roman
Jesus.
Polanski.
Roman Polanski, the pianist, Rosemary's Baby, Chinatown, The Ninth Gate, An Officer and a Spy, The Fearless Vampire. Oh man, I hated Chinatown. Its ending just sucked. So boring. I've never seen anything else of his though, so he might be good.
It's like a B. All right.
Okay. Ryan Coogler. Start
Okay.
googling your Googlers.
What do you do?
Black Panther, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Creed, Creed 2, Creed 3,
You're
Fruitvale
fucking with
Station.
me. You're fucking with me.
No.
It,
Judas and the
uh,
Black Messiah.
this is, I guess, F. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sergei Eisenstein.
Uh, he did Yellow Panther. I'm just kidding. Wait, shit.
Yeah, Battleship Potemkin.
Yeah, sounds
Okay.
boring. Ivan the
I'll give
Terrible,
him.
Alexander Nevsky, Strike, October.
I'll give
Ivan
him
the
an
Terrible.
A. Give him an A.
Look at that
Oh, and
haircut.
I'm gonna put him with.
He
I'll
looks
give him
like
a B. I don't care enough.
he
Okay, he's
seriously
A.
looks like retarded almost.
Sergio Leone. Okay, do Sergio Leone.
Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Fistful of Dollars, Once Upon a Time in the West, Once Upon a Time in America. For a few dollars more, Duck You Sucker, My Name is
This
Nobody.
guy's an A. This guy's an A.
Yeah, Mr. Spaghetti.
Those movies are classic, dude. I'll give him an S. Fuck it, even if he has glasses.
No.
He's like the Kurosawa of those spaghetti westerns.
Yeah.
Um,
Sophia
okay.
Coppola. Lost in Translation, Marie Antoinette. The Godfather Part 3 somehow? Is that true? Oh, she's beautiful. Peggy Sue got me. Come on. What did she
She was
direct?
in Godfather Part. She acted in
All
it.
right, all right. What did she direct? What did she direct?
Lost in Translation's like her main one.
Lick the Star, The Virgin
She's a
Suicides.
C. Just shut up. She's a C.
Uh,
Almost
on,
done.
on the Rocks.
No,
Kind of
she's a
interesting.
C. He's a C.
The Beguiled. The Bling Ring.
Sidney Lumet. No, not even Sidney Lumet.
Sidney Lumet.
This
Should
guy's good, actually.
I think you have to restart the screen share. Maybe. Unless you didn't put her in C. 12 Angry Men. Dog Day Afternoon. Network. The Verdict. Prince of the City.
Odd Day Afternoon Network. The Verdict.
Dude has done a shit ton of movies. The Pawnbroker. A View
Serpico.
from
He
the
did
Bridge.
Serpico, right?
Let me see. Serpico. Yeah, he did. Just no one even cares.
He's
Um,
S. He
yeah.
also did 12 Angry Men. He's S.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how underrated he is. I suppose.
But he just had a shorter career. He kind of like died.
Yeah. Spike Lee. Do the Right Thing. Malcolm X. Black Klansman.
I'll give him Spike Lee a C.
Let's see
I
what he's
feel like,
done.
I feel like he's just super obnoxious, but like, he's at least his films kind of rewatchable.
Yeah.
You know, what's that one? Boys in the Hood. I always like that one.
Boys in the Hood. Did he do that?
And I'll give him a D though, because he's like kind of a full of shit kind of guy too.
I don't think he did Boys in the Hood.
He did. Who did Boys in the Hood?
Let me see. I don't see it on his filmography. Boys in the Hood.
Really? He didn't do that?
That's John Singleton.
Oh, dude, I fucking hate Spike Lee then. He's E. Okay. I'm gonna give him F. F.
All right.
Wow.
Shit, man.
I hate him now.
It's just a hatred, not even indifference. Just all right. Stanley Kubrick.
S.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Fair enough. It's not anywhere else he could really belong. IQ of 200. Insane, obsessive perfectionist.
Okay, I don't know who this Steve McQueen guy is. I'm tired of hearing about him. He's like a gay fashion designer who happens to be black or whatever. I'll give him F.
Steve McQueen, director.
Dude, Steven Soderbergh.
Steven Soderbergh. Oh, let's see. Where we got it? Filmography. He did The American Solaris, Ocean's 12, Ocean's 11. That's his big one. Traffic, Kafka. I guess he did Kafka. Sex, Lies, and Videotape, King of the Hill, The Underneath, Skeetsopolis, Out of
He's like
Sight,
he's like a C.
The Limey,
He's kind of like
Full Frontal, Bubble, The Good
doesn't
German,
really have he doesn't really have a personality. Okay. Um,
Magic Mike,
Alfred. The last one is probably the one I'm the least excited about. Alfred Hitchcock.
Hitchcock. I want to say
Probably.
C, but I think he's at least a B.
Fuck you. He's A. He's S.
All right.
S.
Yeah, he's
S.
S. Fuck me, indeed. He's S.
Yeah.
No horse I
Alright, so
rode
now we
on.
can review them. We've done all of them except for Charles Lawton, who doesn't count. Um,
Don't just leave him off the list. You gotta put him in gotta put him in the purple bucket or whatever.
Pullman, do not know him. I do not know his work. He doesn't have any. All right.
Shit.
Lawrence Malick. Okay, so in S we have Woody Allen, David Fincher, George Lucas, Peter Jackson, Francis Ford Coppola, John Ford, Martin Scorsese, Mel Gibson, Orson Welles. Mel Gibson might be more A. You think? I'll go with
Yeah,
A.
yeah.
Not better than Christopher Nolan. You Paul Thomas Anderson, Quentin Tarantino, Richard Linklater, Ridley Scott, Sergio Leone, Sidney Lumet, Stanley Kubrick, Alfred Hitchcock. So maybe what you think? Fellini should go in S.
Yeah, probably. Fellini does have a rare
And,
soul.
and probably Kurosawa too.
Yeah. I put David
Cool.
Lynch almost up there. Maybe not. I don't know.
A
Fuck
little
it.
too weird for us.
Yeah, he is too
Actually,
weird.
I would put remove Kurosawa because he did like genre films. It was a little. I don't know.
Yeah. All right.
Just because I like sushi doesn't mean I'm gonna fucking put the Japanese guy in S. All right, he has to earn it. Um,
I'm also noticing a lot of these S guys had beards.
that I'm less insecure about.
Okay. Okay.
That's actually not true.
I think
Well,
you'll
maybe,
find. I think you'll find that the majority have beards.
or just kind of fat or something.
Yeah. All right.
Wes Anderson. I don't know. Do you really think Wes Anderson's an A? I think he's a B.
Nah, he is an A. His movies are really. They
He's
have
a
like
he's a
they're just really well written. They have
he's a fucking
sincerity.
B. He's a
No,
fucking
he's
B.
not. No, he's not. Come on.
There's no way that it's just not that good. Like you watch him, you're just like, ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
They are that good.
No, there's no way he's not. I've gotten more entertainment value out of Kevin Smith's films.
Well, whose
Uh,
fault is that?
he's not better than the Monty Python guy.
I would say
Just
he
is.
is. I would say he is.
Oh, he's not. Well, okay, well, who?
What?
um, what else did Roman Polanski even do? I feel like he only made like 2 movies.
I don't know. We went over it. I could go over it. Roman Polanski. He did the Pianist, Rosemary's Baby, Chinatown.
Oh, The Pianist. That was the really good one he did.
Yeah.
He did that in Europe too.
Repulsion, Cul-de-sac, The Fearless Vampire Killers. And his wife was murdered. Macbeth.
Sharon Tate? No.
Yeah, Sharon Tate. Manson's got her.
That's right.
Tess, the Ghostwriter, Venus in Fur, singular. And an officer and a spy.
Okay, there's more to watch from him, I'm sure. I don't know if it's all. I'll put him in A
Charged
because
with
I'll put him in A.
abuse against a
He's got to be
3-year-old,
A. There's no way a guy
13-year-old
who's
girl.
had such a high profile scandal wouldn't be higher, like in a higher level.
Okay.
And I'll put Antonioni in A and Pasolini in A.
Okay.
Bergman in A.
Yeah. What about Tarkovsky?
Yes. Ozu in A. Eastwood A. Chaplin, and not Chaplin. Okay. I guess that's. Oh, who's this Doizvenko guy? Maybe he's A. I don't know. Oh, it's Eisenstein. Like, you think
Eisen.
Eisenstein and
I've heard a
Doizenko are
lot about Eisenstein.
Fritz Lang?
Fritz
Oh.
Long probably. I don't know, man. It's like, is it how much we like them or how good they actually are, or like, you know?
I leave them in B because it just seems like they're sort of like they have the founder effect going for them, but that's, you know, who cares about the actual stories um in the cinema.
Yeah.
Okay, Night Shyamalan is in
Shyamalan.
D next to Luis Buñuel, Yorgos Lanthimos.
Can you scroll down,
Yeah.
or is it frozen again? Shoot. I think it may be
How long
frozen.
is the recording?
We are at 3 hours and 5 minutes.
Okay, let's just now that we have the screen back, let's look at the screen one more gander. Then we can pause this session forever. Oh, I guess we have to do the part one.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Okay. Do you want to do the Bethesda right now?
No, it's way too. It's two.
No.
It's 2 a.m. Yeah. Jeez Louise.
It's 5 in the morning for me.
I know you're
I,
crazy.
yeah, well,
It's
what is it?
devotion to cinema verite, or
All
the
right.
verite de cinema.
All right. Well, over 3 hours, man. We did our own Lord of the Rings movie.
Yeah.
Dun 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 dun.
Thrills, spills, and chills galore.
It'd be funny if Evan was still up waiting for me to play Lord of the Rings online.
Oh my gosh. Uh,
Why didn't you get back to me? I'm pretending to be popular. I'm not that popular. Okay. All right, man. All right.
yeah.
Send me the tapes.
Yeah, I will.
Peace out. Cheers.
All right.
Ciao.
Good night and
Toodaloo.
good flick watching.
Da da da.
Tra la di da to you too.
Da da da.